And I'm like, it's a solid ass poop. And I'm like, who the brought their dog into the studio? Like, this literally, to me, immediately I was like, Rottweiler shit. Like, that is just what it looked like to me. Right. So we have cameras that like walk down the hallway or whatever, like right where you close the bathroom door or whatever.
Like, we have cameras in the bathroom.
Yeah, right. So they're talking about like Lucy, one of the girlfriends of one of the artists, like picked it up.
Wasn't him.
Yeah, I was like, you've got me I was not picking that up. So they sent me the picture of the fucking poop. I'm freaking out, whatever. We'll come to find out, which here, I'll show you the poop, John.
Yeah, let me see that.
Okay, so we've got poop.
I like that you have size reference in there, like with the trash can.
Somebody put a quarter next to it.
I'm surprised they didn't put the polarizing lens on. And, It has come to my attention that a lot of you come here, watch the content, and don't subscribe. And that fact has been proven by those around me with a number figure of 90%. What's going on? You come here every week, you watch, just hit subscribe. That's it. That's all we want. Don't be a dick. Just hit the button. Do you guys know about KINGPIN Tattoo Supply? I don't know about you, but I'm ordering products every week from this company, that company. I got 1 million boxes coming. I don't want to deal with any of that. This place is a one-stop shop. I do not go anywhere else. I go to KINGPIN. I order all my things. It comes in one box. I have everything I need to tattoo. It is the best. This is where you guys need to go. I can do you one better. If you use code CAMSUCKS, you get 20% off. There you go. What more do you need? Go there now. Bye. Welcome to the Unemployable Podcast. Today we have special guests with us, Brissa, Instagram, Sweet Bee Tattoos. Where does Sweet Bee Tattoos come from?
Okay, I feel like that's a good question. So I used to tattoo out of my house, scratch it, right, when I was like 15, 16.
Sweet.
So when I got to the shop that apprenticed me, I was going by Kat Von B because I thought it was funny. Right? And I thought Kat Von D was awesome. So I thought it was funny. And my mentors were like, you're not allowed to have that name. You're going to get roasted for that. You can't take her name like that. So I was like, what do you want me to go by? Brissa Tattoos? That's even lamer. So one of the guys that worked there was like, well, I think you're really sweet. And I think that you should go by Sweet Bee. And I was like, okay. And I really didn't think it was going to stick that long because I was like 17. Right. So I'm like, here we are literally 10 years later. And now people will come up to me at shows and be like, hey, Sweet Bee. Because I don't go by that. Like, it's not my nickname, but that's how it came from. It's from the piercer because I was Kat Von B, which I think is funnier.
I agree with that, but it is, you bring up an interesting topic because it's funny. It's like people do call you by your Instagram.
Yes.
That's like a thing in the industry.
Yep.
And a lot of times, like, we're choosing our Instagram handles, like, when we start tattooing, which is usually like 18, 19.
Yes.
Right? It's almost like getting a tattoo because it's going to stick with you for the rest of your career.
Even if I changed it now, it would still be Sweet Bee. That's what people would think.
Right, right. So, and it's funny because we'll see like the little apprentices come in and like choose their name. Yep. And obviously they're dumb because they're dumb, you know?
For sure.
And like even with Adrian, like his was like Ghost.
And then he went by Axel, which I don't know in his mind where he thought
it's like if you let a 4-year-old choose their name.
Yes. Or you go to one of those generators and just generate up something crazy, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're trying so hard to make it different. But I feel like probably like 70% of tattoo artists, I know them by their Instagram name, not their name.
Sure.
Like they'll walk by and I'll be like, oh my God, there's that person. Like,
well, I'm like finally in the habit of like clicking people's Instagram and hoping they put their like real name
in their bio.
And
yeah, but some of them still don't. And they also don't post pictures of themselves. So you're like, okay.
Right, and you see them in, this is what I think is hysterical. You see them in person, and then you just call them their Instagram, and they don't have it in their bio.
Yes.
And they correct you as if you're an idiot.
Right.
And it's like, well, what the fuck else am I supposed to call you?
That's so funny. I feel like I correct people, too, if they say Sweet Bee. I'm like, yeah, it's Brissa. Like, I don't know. I feel like now that I'm older, it's not like, I don't know, I am. But my name is in my bio, so I feel like, my name is in my bio.
Yeah, yeah.
So you would be able to figure it out. But
because you're an adult.
Yeah, but I don't go by a nickname. So if someone comes up to me and says, are you Sweet Bee? I'm like, online, yeah, I'm Brissa. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Like, immediately.
Did you spell cat with a C?
No, it was a K.
What? Oh, you would have got away with it if it was Cat.
I think it was Q, and I think that she would have loved it.
Do you have apprentices?
No. I don't want an apprentice. I really don't.
Nice of
you know, I was gonna say, you know how often it is that I'm sure you do. How often people call and are asking like weekly if you want an apprenticeship. I refuse. I don't want to do it.
Because you can't hit them
No,
anymore?
I just feel like it's just so much to try to teach somebody to do what you're doing, and then now
It's
you're
a
like
lot.
responding to them like a child, you know. And it's like there's just so many steps you got to go through, hazing them, and like I don't want to. I've got too much going on. Like I don't have time to dedicate myself to somebody.
With like new tattooers, will you bring on new tattooers to your shops?
I have a new tattooer at my shop right now, and I feel like she like mostly does like still like lettering and smaller stuff, and like because I absolutely love her, and I feel like it's good to be in an environment where you feel like you need to be better. But I only one, like, because right now I'm trying to fill a spot at Anatomy, and I've been really picky because everybody else there is like really good, so I want to bring in someone that's going to bounce off that and keep everybody like in a friendly competition, you know. What
do you like? I mean, they probably already have their IG handles. I was going to ask, like, what would you suggest new tattooers make their IG name? Like, if you should just keep it with your name, if you should.
No, I think they should keep the stupid name, because I feel like that's
just
how
keep them going?
Yeah, keep the stupid name, because that's how people remember you. I think that there's
You're
all kinds of things. Like, I really think that if you just do like Michelle tattoos, like it's just you get lost in all the other Michelle tattoos that spell it 10 different ways. Like, I think the funny names
if
are
you're
cool.
gonna do that, you have to be the best Michelle.
Yeah, right. Because Michelle is already playing against you.
There can only be one.
Yeah, I think that they should go with the funny names. But I don't know, whenever like a brand new apprentice who's not even tattooing yet has tattoos in their names, I think that's so cringy. Yeah.
Call me Shadow.
Yeah, like if you haven't even started yet and you're saying tattoos in the name, like, oh my God, your mentor should be getting on your ass about that.
Yeah, that's one thing I check their Instagram.
Yeah.
When they have like visible scratcher tattoos and they're tattooing on like a couch. I'm
Yep.
Like,
Amazon has really put us in a place though, because you can just get a machine off Amazon with the fake skin for $39.99, and so everyone's like just ready to jump up and practice, you know.
What was your first machine?
I got my first machine off Craigslist.
There you
way
go.
more classier than Amazon. But I've always ran with coils, so I really don't know what the hell that it was. I remember being at the kitchen table, literally trying to get it to work, and I'm bitching to my mom because I'm like, it's plugged in, I'm hitting the pedal, it's not coming on.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Nice.
And so then I realized that the contact
Mom.
screw needed to touch the spring, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my God, Mom, it's this. This is making it work. So I started spinning it like it was like real deal, like caveman
She's like,
shit.
all right, get out of my house.
Yeah,
She's like,
right.
thank God you figured it out, honey.
Right, no, the one rule, I wasn't allowed to tattoo myself. We love her for that. She's definitely saved me from having some super fucked up tattoos.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing I feel like people go to doing is like tattooing their thighs and shit. I never did that. I fucked up other people's kids.
Dude, I also tattooed in my mom's house, and but she wasn't cool with it.
Yeah.
So not only did I have to like do a shitty tattoo, but I had to like do it in secret.
Yeah. And I'm sure you were using a coil. Right? Weren't even thinking back then when we were
Yeah.
tattooing then. Okay. So you have to wait when she like wasn't there, or turn your game up really loud.
You know, you just got creative.
Yeah.
Or you just were like, you just bit the bullet.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
No, my mom
But
was
it's
so
worth the
encouraging. She
$30.
did. She bought me some rinky-dink Craigslist freaking tattoo kit from somebody that God knows who from where, and gave it to me for Christmas.
Have you tattooed your mom?
Oh yeah, she's tatted. She's actually got a lot of like my early stuff. Like the 2
Nice.
sleeves that she had, I probably did when I was like 17 and 18. She's an OG.
Do you look at it and be like, oh, poor thing?
I look at her, I'm like, Mom, God damn it, I love you for being so supportive. You're such a sweetie. But I'm like, I wish we could start over. I feel like we wish you could start over on myself, you know? Like I wish they were a little easier to get off, damn it.
Does she
You didn't
get
have
free
to go burn
touch-ups?
the shit out of yourself 30 times to get something lightened. Does she what?
Get free touch-ups?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool,
But you know how it is with family. I feel like our family gets tattooed a good once a year.
Yeah.
Normally they request it on their birthday.
Tattoo my family.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, Brissa,
They're
I want to get in.
nightmare.
Brissa, I want to get in. I'm like, soon, cancellation. And then we get to their day, and I'm like, but wouldn't you rather go to the beach?
Yeah, I'd rather like quit my job, I think.
Yeah.
than tattoo my family.
I have rescheduled on family members way too many times. I'm like, well, this actually came up. Can I move you out another 6 months?
Because they're like,
I'm busy
even with
today.
like friends, they're like too comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Like they'll
They don't
push
sit
your
well.
boundaries.
Yeah, they don't sit well.
You're like trying to direct them.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, hey, I've done this for a decade. Let me get, and they're like, no, fuck you. I
Yep.
know, I want this.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, you know. So they end up with like kind of a garbage tattoo.
Yep.
They get up and do whatever they want. They take breaks because they're like, what are you going to stop being my friend after 10 years?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And then those are the ones that run around the loudest and the proudest. They're like, oh, yeah, look what they did. Like
Right,
something
with
that
your
you're
worst
so
work.
not proud of. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, my God.
They force you out of your style, whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I was just doing a bunch of trade work for some like lawn stuff that we got done at the house, like a big,
fucking
huge
hate
job.
trade work.
Oh my God. You should see the stuff that I'm out here having to do. I had to do a skin tear flag for the first time in
Whoa.
like 5 years. It was like, oh, you were bringing me, I had to go back to like 2018 and like look at how I used to do skin tears. I'm like, I don't do this shit anymore, but
Yeah.
I feel like it came out all right. It's passable.
What flag?
I can't tell you. I'm just kidding. It was just
Lynn, the lawnmower guy.
It was an American flag. It was just a regular flag. I thought
it was going to be Mexican.
Yeah, but
I'm Mexican, I can say that.
He wants like dice and like, you know, like just, I don't know, some of the stuff he's asking for. I'm like, okay.
Did you meet him beforehand? I'm like, hey, buddy, I got a proposition.
Oh my God, no, I've known him for like 10 years and he owns like a company, like an excavation company. And so they just did like a huge clearing job at my house. I'm at his mercy. Like, just got to do whatever he wants, but it's okay, whatever.
Yeah, every time we build a shop, I'm like, here comes the trade work.
Yes, but it's so, doesn't it feel like you're getting it for free though? Because I mean, that's how it feels to me whenever I do trade work. I feel like I just got it for free.
I'm working for free.
No, I'm saying. I feel like I would love to trade always. If anyone wants to trade with me, I'm like, run it.
I'm just kind of like, well, okay, you want to trade, and like most of the time, like the contractors, they're either friends or like, I mean, I've been using them for everything for 10 years, so they're like really strong acquaintances.
Yes.
So not only do they want to trade, but they want to trade at like the homie hookup.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So I'm like, honestly, bro, it's way more financially beneficial for me
to just pay your ass.
Not tattoo you, charge full price to normal customers and pay you with that money. Right. You know?
Oh my God. Yeah. On this one, I feel like it was a win-win. We'll tattoo a couple more flags. It's okay. Yeah. I saved like $4,000. I feel like that's cool. That's nice. Like, yeah. I don't know. But I feel like you're right. For certain people, it's not the way to go. I
wonder if there's a way that I could like do the trade work, but make like the artist do the tattoo.
Somebody else like in the shop or something?
Yeah.
No, that would be smart.
Maybe if I could like trade.
Yeah.
I'd have to like give them something they want, convince, you know what I mean?
Yeah, convince the other person to do it.
Yeah.
I convinced a homie once to tattoo like one of my mentors, like for me, just to be sweet.
That's good.
Yeah, I did, and he did it, and it was nice.
I can imagine John. He's like, yeah, you know who's as good as me? Axel.
Yep. No, I got Mike Randazzo to tattoo my mentor for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he did. We were good friends, so I was like, can you please get him in? He did.
That's sick.
Yeah, we love that.
You think if I gave Adrian like a coupon for a free back rub, I could do that?
Yeah, I think. Are you rubbing his back?
Like, trading that one guy that traded a paperclip, he ended up with a house. That's like what I'm going for. You know what I mean?
Who's gonna rub him?
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about. I saw those videos.
What?
The one he kept going and trading shit to get into the bigger shit. Yes.
I just am like, can I trade something of no value to me?
Right.
And still end up with the epoxy floors. Right. You know what I mean? That's what I'll workshop it later. But
oh my God.
Adrian agrees, but he has to rub your back.
I feel like you'd be convincing, John. I feel like you'd be able to convince him to do it.
So you have 2 shops?
Yeah, I do. And actually the second shop that I just got in January is the shop that I learned at.
Wow.
Yeah, so the shop that I apprenticed at is Subcultures, and I apprenticed there back when I was like 17. The way that I got my apprenticeship is unheard of, and I'm very grateful. So like I said, I was tattooing out of the house, and I was Kat Von B, and I was tattooing all the kids at high school, and I had like 4,000 followers, which right now is not shit, but back then, you know, it definitely caught the idea in the town, like, damn, this girl's fucking everybody up, and everybody loves her. So the shop reached out to me on Facebook, and we're like, listen, like, what you're doing is super illegal, but we would love to like bring you in.
But we support it.
Yeah, right. We'd love to, you know, get some money off you ourselves, whatever.
That's cool.
And whenever I first read the message, I was like, I don't need y'all. Right. Like, I know what I'm doing. I don't need you. And
you're like reading it on
I got 100%.
Yeah, right? I'm like, I don't need no help. Look, I'm already got 4,000 followers. Well, another shop in the city that is just god-awful. I'm not going to say their name because I don't know if they're watching this, but they're horrible. They reached out to me and just offered me a job straight up. They were like, come in, you know, this will be the apprentice, whatever. And I was literally 17, so like I really can't even work for you guys. I don't have a license. And so I was considering it. I'm like, why are you considering to go work for this shit shop when this other shop wants you to come work there and like teach you how to tattoo?
Like you were talking to yourself.
Yeah, so I was like, it had been like a month too that I had turned Subcultures down. So I wrote them back and was like, can I come back and see you guys? Like, I really want to come talk to you. Of course, they said yes. I went down there. They told me I was awful, that my shit sucked, that like I wasn't good, and then I needed to.
How was that? How did it feel?
I feel like it was fine. I feel like it was okay. Like, I don't, because one of them was good cop, one of them was bad cop. Mike was being a total dick. Babin was being sweet. So, but they were like, we really want you to come in, you know, because I did the unheard, or like what you're not supposed to do. I went in with a portfolio and then tattoos that I've already done, which is cringe. You're not supposed to do that. You know what I mean? So they're like, fuck all these. We're throwing all these in the trash. And I did an apprenticeship for the next like year and a half. I started over. I wasn't allowed to tattoo. I learned how to scrub a tube, build a machine. Like, I went through a normal apprenticeship until I graduated high school. And then they started cutting me loose and letting me tattoo again. So that all happened at Subcultures. I worked there for 5 years. And then I left and went to Orlando. And I worked in Orlando for 4 years, had a really great time over at that studio. Some shit hit the fan a little bit just because, you know, sometimes fighting over text messages and stupid shit like that leads to bad stuff. So I left there, opened Anatomy, like 7 months into anatomy, which anatomy is my all-girls studio. 7 months into having anatomy, I got wind that Subcultures was closing.
Wait, hold on. I'm having a hard time following.
Yeah.
Because I'm retarded.
No, you're good. And I talk fast.
So how long were you at the first shop?
Subcultures?
Yeah.
I was there for a good 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so from like 18 or like 17, 18 all the way on. And I ended up leaving there just because I got the opportunity to go work with the boys over in Orlando. And like they were putting me on to like conventions and like I ended up getting sponsored by Hustle Butter through them. And so I just felt like it was a better opportunity to end up in Orlando. I was in like a really small city. So I felt like Orlando was going to be better if I had hopes of getting bigger.
Sure. So they took you, this is the shop that took you like from high school.
Yeah, Subcultures was, yes.
Okay.
And then I went out to Orlando, which actually, again, bring up Mike. Mike Randazza worked there, and we
Right.
had worked at a convention together. And so I reached out to Mike. He was working at Workings at the time. And I was like, do you think the boys would let me come work there? Fully expecting them to say no, because they were an all-boys studio.
Right.
And they said yes. So I went there. I did like a little interview, like tattooed there for the weekend. And then, boom. I ended up getting in over there, and I worked there for like 3.5, 4 years.
So there was no apprenticeship though.
There was at Subcultures.
Okay.
Subcultures apprenticed me for a year and a half. Yeah, so like when I
What
got
was
there,
that like? Because they were like, "Yo, you're scratching at the house."
yes,
Okay.
yeah, it was definitely. I feel like it was a good old solid apprenticeship. Like I learned how to scrub tubes. I answered the phone. I got lunches. They didn't haze me as bad because I'm working
Was
with a
there
bunch of
any
like.
hazing?
There was some hazing. There was some hazing.
Yeah, because there definitely is. Because you said it was an all-guy shop.
Yes, and they were all like 40. You know what I
They're
mean? Like
it's
the
a
guys
girl,
I was working
you have
with.
to be careful.
Yes,
That would
exactly. They
happen.
don't want to, right.
Yeah.
They don't want to push it. So I feel like I really was like little sister and like also like daughter to all of the boys that I was working with at Subcultures. Like I said, they're all like in their 40s, a little bit higher. So they were all definitely like my dad. So though they were like hard on me, didn't play with me, told me when I fucked up tattoos, they weren't like, hey bitch, go get this room. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like they were at least respectful. So I did like normal shit. Like I got food and I cleaned my ass off and I answered the phones and I drew like crazy and I scrubbed tubes, and because back then they were still using the metal tubes. It wasn't disposable yet. So I feel like I got a good sound regular apprenticeship.
And like, did they explain to you what the next year was going to look like? Like, hey, in the beginning, we're going to clean, then we're going to do this, or we're just like, show the fuck up?
I think it was just show the fuck up. Come here after school, because I was still in high school. So I didn't get there until I would go straight from school. So I'd get there at like 2:30 and I'd stay until 9. If anything, I'd go straight to the back, clean first. I was taught to just clean, and I'd do my homework, and then I'd draw into the phone. But I don't think it was ever laid out like, hey, this is what you're going to do, or a set like time frame either. It was just, just start. So
Were they like telling you what to do? Were you like, what do
I think
do
the first
here?
week, like Tom, the piercer, right? Because we always
Yeah.
leave everything on the piercer. Tom showed me the ropes, and we're like, this is what you're going to clean. This is how you're going to do it. This is how you dirty room. This is how you sterilize, package, label, all that. So I feel like the first week was really me just learning how to clean the shop and what my
There's
duties
always
were
that
going to
one
be.
person.
Yes.
And it's usually the nicest and the weakest.
Right. Don't stop.
For real though, that's like what it is. Like,
Because no one else wants to show you. They're
right,
like, fuck
'cause
you.
they're tough.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you.
Yeah, like it's usually the apprentice.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, fuck you, you're weird, you're new, I'm not talking to you. And then the apprentice is like, come on in.
Yep.
And then you're like, what do we do?
Oh my God.
here?
I remember a day with Omar, which was one of the artists, and he was only like 2 years older than me. He like calls me in the back. He's like, I need to talk to you right now. And I go back there, and he's like rips all his tube like out of the rest of the package, and he's like, do you see that? And I'm like looking at it, whatever. He's like, you left soap on it. Like, is it you scrub it with like the
Pipe
coarse
cleaner?
soap or whatever. Yeah, like the powder or whatever. And there was a piece of powder on it, and he was like, don't let me catch you doing this again. And like just walk back out. I'm like, sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So, every single time I was doing the tubes, I'm checking 4 and 5 times to make sure it didn't happen again. It wasn't even ink, it was soap, but still, he got me. So they put my ass in check. Like there was a couple of different times that we cried. But you're supposed to cry during your apprenticeship.
What's this wee shit?
It
Who
builds
else cried?
character. You're supposed to cry. If you don't cry, you're not passionate.
Okay.
And then
Cam cried.
Would you like ask like, when can I tattoo, or were you already tattooing?
No, I had to stop completely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like those are so many years ago. I don't think that I asked. I think that Mike ended up telling me until I could build my machine from like parts up, I wasn't even going to be allowed to try, or until I turned 18, because you can't get a license until you're 18. So I at least had to do, I think it was like 7 or 8 months that I wasn't allowed to tattoo at all until I turned 18 and was able to get the license. And then once I graduated high school as like a good job, I was able to do my first tattoo. And my mentor drew and colored the entire thing and then made me tattoo it. That one came out, it was fine, I didn't fuck it up, and they just kind of let me start taking the small walk-ins, like nothing that was too crazy, It just built up from there.
How long until you were consistently tattooing? Maybe not you know, maybe a few times a week, you're like, oh, this is becoming a routine?
As soon as I hit the first one, we hit the ground running.
Nice.
Like, if they were coming in, I was doing them. If it was a name, I was doing them. So, yep.
And then did they do like a percentage split with you?
It was 50-50. Remember my first week, I did a $150 tattoo and made $75.
And you're like,
I was lit.
I'm rich.
I was lit.
I'm buying
literally. I'm buying McDonald's for
I'm
everybody.
buying McDonald's.
The weed tonight is on me. Like, no, literally.
Fuck that buy one get one free,
Yes.
dog. Y'all splurge.
Yes, I'm leaving school tomorrow and I'm going to
might even
Chick-fil-A.
try Coke.
Right? I'm done.
Yeah, getting into the industry so young, did you kind of feel like, why am I still going to school?
No. So I was.
Yeah, me neither.
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I don't even mean to be a goody two shoes, but no, while I was in school, I was like a straight A student. I feel like I'm a weirdo and I like the attention from getting good grades. So I was really good in school. I definitely was. I made really good grades and I finished out and I graduated. But I actually had an offer to go to college, actually, because my grades were killing it. And I did decide though, so I guess I decided to do the apprenticeship instead of going to UF because I felt like the tattooing was going to be better. But there was no point in time that I was like, I should drop out of school. I don't know. I feel like.
Nobody wants to do their GED.
I know. I don't know. I feel like I had a good time at school. I wasn't getting bullied. I had friends. Like, school was a good experience for me.
Of course you had friends. You're tattooing everybody.
Right. She's a tattoo girl.
Yeah. Looking back at your older work, when you said, hey, when the guys told you this is garbage, do you agree with them now?
Oh, yeah. The shit that I was doing in the house is god-awful trash. But I can definitely be
Don't
proud
talk
of
about
myself.
your mom like that.
Yeah. I can be proud of the stuff that I look back at when I was 18 and be like, you know what? It's not that fucked up. Like, it's really not. Like, I felt like they did a good job reeling me back in and setting me back out, that I feel like they really didn't let me fuck up too much stuff. They were making me, like, do full color drawings and stuff before I was able to do something.
Yeah.
So that way it needed, like, yeah. Like, I don't do color things now. Like, I don't pre-plan anything. I just do it on the spot. But back then I wasn't allowed to do that.
Yeah, everything.
I had to have
out,
reference.
No guesswork.
Yes. I needed to show where I got the reference from. Like, where'd you look up that koi fish? Like, it was definitely, I feel like it was a technical, good apprenticeship that kids don't get anymore. So.
What was a bad answer for, where'd you find that?
A bad answer?
Yeah.
What did I just say that on?
Your reference. Like,
yeah, your reference.
Oh, like I got I did a koi fish once where I guess like the tail wasn't connected right to like the back of its spine. My mentor let me do it, and when they left, they're like, "Your fish can't swim. Like, why did you fuck that up? Let me see your reference." And the reference that I had was wrong, and so that was a whole lesson. You let me done fuck up a whole tattoo to be like, next time, make sure that you look up a real koi fish.
They can't swim? They
Right.
just sink to the bottom?
It's broken, as they would say. Broken. I feel like I got a gangster apprenticeship from like older cats that like, you know, like really followed the fundamentals. Like, that shit better not be facing the wrong way.
We tried. Oh my God, that is like a real like bad pet peeve of mine.
That like you're in support of it or you don't care?
No, like backwards tattoos.
Okay, they need to be the right way. There's a right way. Like, okay.
And there's a wrong way.
Yes.
You know?
You see some great tattooers making that mistake too, where you could be like, damn, I could never do that, but shit backwards.
You think that, like, oh, my client
there
wanted
are
that
some
way.
like weird exceptions that like don't bother me.
Like if the body's forward and the head is back, like shit like that, because those always throw me.
Sure. However, it's like there's still like a flow with those tattoos. Maybe if you're doing like matching tattoos and you want them facing each other, sometime not on your forearms.
I was
That's always
about to say,
backwards.
make them switch, but you're
mean,
right.
Like the
Okay.
thighs.
Okay.
There
okay.
are certain like thigh tattoos that I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I feel like everyone fucking forgot that like a tattoo can be backwards.
Yep.
Bro, someone showed me some shit the other day and it was like on the forearm, like really backwards. And it was a really good tattoo. And they're like, oh, isn't this sick? Isn't this sick? And then you have to like lie.
Yeah.
You have to be like, yeah,
so now
looks
you don't
great.
look like a dick.
Yeah, it looks so good.
No, I'll say
This
it.
person
I'm a
definitely
hater.
knows what they're doing.
I literally say I could never do that tattoo. It's some shit I could never do, but that shit's backwards. Like, obviously they didn't get taught well.
They're asking in the chat, Big Ol' October, saying, can you please explain a wrong way tattoo?
So like if, especially with face, I think that's the easiest one. Like a face should be facing outward, right?
Yep.
Not inward, because then it's like hiding. You can't see it. It's running away from you.
Yeah.
So there's like, and this rule exists like all over the body.
Yep. Same with like chest. Like you should be having a face in instead of like at the armpit. You don't want the face going right into the armpit. Like you'd want them like looking at each other. Like there's
just
things
checking it.
Or like on your thigh, you want it forward, not staring at the butt. Like it's just, there's ways for them to be the right way.
There are like certain, and I've like kind of gotten into arguments. I guess there's certain spots on the body that people disagree on.
Okay.
I think like the forearm, no one really disagrees on that.
Yeah.
The legs, though, I've heard a lot of people like disagree.
Do you go in still on the legs?
I go out.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I feel like if I was doing a face like on the front of the thighs, like I would
That's
do them
the
looking
one
at each
that
other's.
I said
Okay.
I'll like let it go, kind
Yeah.
of.
So even if it was on the back still, like right over here, you would still put like the face facing the butt?
Like on the side?
Yeah, like if
No,
it's on
no,
the side.
then
Okay,
it
then you'd
faces
be
in.
forward. Okay,
But
so
on
it's just a
the- on the
difference from inner
front.
outer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've drawn and documented all this and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
If anyone wants John's opinion, and that's all it is. It's just my opinion.
That's how you know it's like a big subject though. Like it
Yeah.
really is. It is a fundamental of like what you're supposed to learn early
Dude, and
on.
last year I even released all these like Procreate brushes, like flow points for
Yeah.
every body part to
Okay.
like show arrows. Like kind of like, I'm not like the first person to do that. What's his name did that? Forget. Maybe Guy Atchison, was it?
No. Wasn't Javi?
No. This is like,
I don't
whatever,
use
it doesn't
Procreate.
matter.
I'm doing myself a disservice at that. There's so many cool tools on it, but I don't use it.
yeah. And well, I don't know. I just like not only like flow points and this and how it like curls up here and then comes down. And if you just like put these like simple, more for like sleeves and stuff, you
Right.
can use it for anything, even sticker tats. But it kind of just shows you like how the muscle goes. And if
Okay.
you just like lay it appropriately, I think there is a little bit of like, you have to like learn how to like use these lines, but like even if, you have a face up here, kind of like the nose, you want to line up more in the middle. So it's
Right.
not,
In
too
the
much
crease
the
over here.
armpit.
Right.
And then, have like a round thing. If you don't have, like, if it's just kind of a portrait with not that much movement, you could either use like negative space or different things to create, flow.
Right.
Or whatever.
I love negative space. I don't do it often, but I love it.
Yeah, but I just think, it's like composition meets flow.
Yeah.
Whatever. We could go on that.
See, but I feel like only tattoo artists that have been tattooing like 10 plus years would appreciate something like that. I feel like the newer kids these days are like, I got it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I got it. I don't need to look at something like that. They're just, I don't know, they're just programmed different.
Yeah, they're like cyber sigillism doesn't
Yeah.
have flow.
Yeah,
So it's
right?
fine.
They pick up these pens, and I mean, they get really good really fast. Honestly, the apprentices these days kind of blow my mind with the fact that they don't, it's a give or take. Either they're fucking up everything or they just hit the ground running, but then they don't know stuff like we know. Or they could never pick up a coil and figure out how to make it run, ever.
Yeah, and that's kind of like, actually that's what I wanted to talk about today, like that whole like new generation, because I was like, oh cool, like you own shops, like
Yeah.
not only have you been tattooing a while, but like this topic has been coming up a lot, actually just in my personal life.
Yeah.
Like people calling me to talk, and I'm like, why did I give so many people my phone number?
Right.
No, but there's a lot of fear with shop owners, and I don't know if you share this, because artists are starting to like ask for too much. That's
Right.
the opinion. Right?
Yeah.
Artists are asking for too much. So much so that it doesn't leave the shop enough to support them.
Right.
And like, it's kind of like a sensitive subject because it's, you, myself, we have a bunch of people that work for us.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. I might come off greedy, or like, I might create sides.
Right.
It's like a weird topic. So a lot of times what ends up happening is like all the shop owners talk in secret.
Right.
And I'm like, this is stupid too.
Yep.
Like we should just kind of like be open about it.
Right.
And I know a couple of people have called me recently like, yo, I'm actually just going to close my shop because it's easier than like confronting the artist.
Yes, that has been the hardest
like literally,
part.
like that's like what it is.
It's hard.
Burn
It's
it
hard to
is.
go from like just being because we're like one-man bands. We promote
Yeah.
ourselves. We do our own books, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So to go over to now, I literally have 13 people underneath me in the matter of a year, and that has been the hardest part for me. Is like reprimanding someone or telling them they need to do it this way, or like I don't know, having to have those conversations. It's really weird that you just brought that up specifically because I feel like right now our industry is like in the biggest drought it's ever been in.
Well, it's not weird that I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because everyone's experiencing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and thank God, like at our shops, it's fine and that problem doesn't exist. And I think a big reason is because we have meetings on it all the time.
Right.
And like, I'm just like transparent with people,
Yep.
like, even like Borrowed Time, like I do a lot of marketing. It's very like, hey, you can come in as like kind of a new artist and we'll help you build.
Right.
You know, so the margins are set for that.
Right.
Like, and what we do is we do like a sliding percentage scale.
Okay.
Meaning once a week, your total sales are added up, and based on how many sales you've done is your percentage.
Okay.
And it ranges from 50% to I think we just brought it all the way up to 80.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
But it's like if you don't do shit, you get 50%.
Right.
If you do one like walk-in, you know, and like, yo, I'll put that on the internet and people go wild. Like,
no, I feel like I've never heard it done that way before, but I feel like that's a.
And then if you do, if you're doing day sessions 5 days a week and, you know, you're charging, you know, you're making like 6,000-7,000 in sales, you keep 80%.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
and it's just like perfect math. It's like, that's literally what it costs.
Yep.
To have your station.
Right.
You know, and then like we'll have meetings and it's like, do you want me to bump the marketing?
Yes.
You know, or would you rather redo the front room with furniture?
Yes.
You know, and it's like this like open communication thing. And people might be like, so, and then at Model, it's a little, you have a chance to make more money at this shop.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing marketing for you. I'm not doing, like, it's
Is
kind
that
of like
because
you've
here's
already.
booth rent? Is it different?
No, it's still a sliding scale.
Okay.
But it's just understood that, like, if you're at this shop, it's kind of like you've already made it and you don't need me.
Right.
That's the whole reason the shop was created, is because I had, you know, all these veteran artists at Borrowed Time that are like, yo, I'm booked for months. I don't need your marketing. I don't need the Google reviews.
Yes.
Can we figure out a way that you don't take such a high percentage?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
Okay.
You know, so then we open this shop and it's like, yo, I'm doing zero marketing for you. I'm not spending on that. Like, and you can just keep a high percentage because I know you're doing day rates all the time.
Right.
And like that communication has kind of helped that. But then we have new artists coming into interview and I tell them this and they're like, oh, fuck that. Like, let's do a day rate.
Right.
I'm like, okay, what? You know, because I'm open to everything. What do you want your day rate to be?
Right.
They're like $100.
Right.
And I
feel like that's something for a guest artist that's coming for like 1 or 2 days at your homie, like not permanently working there, you know?
Sure. And I'm like, cool, what do you charge? And they're like $3,000 a day.
Right.
I'm like, can you not afford to give more than that?
Right.
Like,
do you supply stuff, John, to them?
Everything.
Yep.
And they're sponsored by everyone.
Yep. That's
we
the
literally,
issue that I have
the
too.
shops are sponsored by everyone.
Yeah.
We spend, you know, I don't want to like complain. But yeah, it's,
yes.
you know?
Right.
I'm
I don't
not
think
gonna
some
go
people
through all
realize
of it.
how much a case of gloves are these days. I really don't, because I supply all of that. And it's like, it's thousands of dollars to make sure that, and I feel like I had kept the booth rent at a really good price.
Sure.
But like, as it's going right now, like the girls, like they would rather drop it and cover their own supplies. And I'm like, I feel like that is such a mistake. But okay, if you guys don't want me to order supplies anymore and you'd rather drop your rent a little bit, then I got to work with them, because I'm very transparent with them as well.
Yeah.
So, and we have the group meetings. So they just came to me and were like, no, we'd rather go down and cover our own supplies. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I thought it was nice that you could just go and grab the stuff, you know what I mean? But if you don't want to, fine, whatever. Drop it.
Have they wanted to move back to it? Like,
this just started. That's why I said it's so weird that he was bringing this up, because this just happened. Like, this is the first month that this is going to be happening, that they're going to supply their own stuff. Well, because when I was in Orlando, everything was supplied to me, even gloves. And it was amazing to just go to the back and grab my shit. Like, I just thought it was so much nicer. So I don't want to have to order my own stuff. It's a nice thing to do. Like,
yeah, and it just don't make any fucking sense, because it's like, why wouldn't we bulk buy?
It's cheaper, you know what I mean? Like, it's cheaper for you guys to do it individually. You're gonna spend that $400 or $500 difference. You know what I mean? For us to do it in bulk, it lasts for us about a month, and it's not the same amount, you know. But I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, people might not agree with this, but it's like, if you're gonna be a shop owner, you should make money.
Absolutely,
because it's a whole nother job.
Yep.
And you could be like, no, like that's bullshit, or like you don't need to. Okay, I don't care. Like it's. But what's going to happen is no one will open shop.
Yeah. Why did we do this if it wasn't to at some point be able to slow down and be able to enjoy what you put so much money into? You know what I mean? This doesn't come cheap. You don't build these cheaply. You know what I mean?
And it's just like, it's created such a divide with artists, unfortunately.
Right.
Because, you know, it used to be like, oh, people that aren't artists are coming in and they're opening shops and they're making money off us, you know? And it's like, yeah, I know, but they're like a business owner and like that's what they're going to do. And it's like, oh, artists run shops. And then that happened and they're like, yeah, but then now it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, I really try to be like, yo, I'm literally in the trenches tattooing with you guys every day. Yes. The only difference is like when you go home and like spend time with your family, like I go home and I research like marketing companies and I run payroll and I make sure everyone's,
you're booking conventions
right.
and
I'm
you're
doing
taking
the
care of everything on the
stuff.
back
That's
end.
like honestly not fucking fun at all.
No, it's not.
But like I'm doing that because it's like another way to be able to provide for my own family.
Yes.
And like hopefully provide such like a cool atmosphere that we all have jobs in somewhere that we love,
right?
And we can share that together,
right?
Am I gonna make money off of it? Yeah, of course, bro. Like I'm working an extra 30 hours a week to do all this shit.
Yep. And you're the one that put up the initial investment to get it started, Like I think I did it all by myself. So like if I put up 60 grand, I want that 60 grand back. Like why would I not? I want it back. So
and I think like we started to see this pattern of like, I'm gonna go open a private studio.
Yep.
And it's like, why? Because that's the other thing that isn't talked about a lot. Like, what did it cost to open the shop? Oh, bills and this. Oh, let's just split bills. Like, cool. Even if your bills are what, I don't know, $5,000-$10,000 a month.
Exactly.
Like, that's not a lot. We could just all split it. It's like, yeah, but like when I came here, like I had to get approved for the building. You have to do first class security. You have to buy all the fucking.
Yep.
Like
each
it
one
used
of those
to be
chairs out there, like $1,500. Like
those chairs are $3,000.
You have the ones that raise. Like oh my god, like everything is it's expensive. It's the shit that you don't think about. Everything that's in this room, like it's
you see that glass out there?
I'm dead. I didn't see that. No, I did. And the 2 rooms. Like yeah, I can only imagine.
No, but
I can only imagine.
Like that I don't bring up because like I'm a dumbass and I chose to just make a really expensive shop. But
the artists also love that shit.
Sure,
they love working in somewhere that's this nice and takes people's breath away when they come in,
But it used to be like 50, maybe 70,000 you can open a shop. It's not that anymore.
No.
So it's like you either have to like save that up or take out a loan. Yep. Which is risk. Like at the end of the day, like you have to take a risk.
Yes.
And I know there are small risks in comparison to like working at a shop. And I'm not saying like artists don't take risks. But what I'm really saying is like we have to find a way to like come back together.
Yes.
So that we can sustain this.
And when I see that you're in a private studio, it doesn't immediately like ring to me, oh, it's cheaper. It rings to me that you don't work well with other people. That's usually what I think when I think that someone's in a private studio, because I just don't understand why you'd want to be by yourself. I think like having people to come in and talk to and bounce off of, and like I said earlier, the friendly competition that makes you want to be better because the person next to you is doing some sick ass shit. I feel like you lose that when you're by yourself because you're the best in the room. And I feel like being the best in the room is bad.
I think private studios are where artists go to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we saw that happen a lot because it's like a cheaper alternative than opening a shop.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go do this thing. I completely agree. I don't work well with others. Or maybe, maybe someone had a bad experience and they're like, whoa, I just got to like shut everything off. And I even have like really close friends that have gone and done that.
Yeah.
But it's usually temporary.
Yes, usually like after a year, once that lease is up, they want to come back because the camaraderie in the shop is awesome. That's why our industry is awesome. You get into a studio that has good people that you bounce off. It's like you're being home. If you're there for 9-10 hours a day, you want to make sure you love who you work with. 100%. So once you get locked into those studios that's like that, like there's no comparison. I don't understand why you would want to be by yourself.
What made you choose the booth rent?
So that's what they did for me in Orlando. And I thought it was great. Like, cause I know that whenever I was at Subcultures, I was to the point on my 50/50 where I was making like a good almost $2,000 a week. Yeah. So if you think about it, they're making $2,000 a week. So they're making $8,000 a month off me. And now in that situation, I feel like it was a little bit easier to get bitter because we weren't renovating the front. We weren't renovating the bathroom. We weren't putting it back into the studio. You know what I mean? So to see that me as one artist, okay, I just handed y'all over $7,000-$8,000 this month and you won't buy a new vanity for the bathroom, kind of is like annoying, you know what I mean? Like I felt like that, especially when there's 6 artists there, whatever. So I wanted to do the booth rent at the shop because I feel like, okay, I can cover all of these things for you. I could still make my little bit of profit and I'm not taking half your money because if you work a lot, you're going to give me way more than $2,000. And I feel like that's where the bitterness starts to come in where they're like, oh, well, I just worked all these days and now I'm giving you $5,000. Like I feel like it's hard to stay away from that bitterness, which I'm sure you face if some of your artists are doing $7,000-$8,000 weeks, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
We don't experience that.
Yeah.
Because I'll just bring up other ideas. Like I'll be like, because I came from a corporate family. Like my whole family's corporate.
Okay.
And let's say it's like, and this is what I think is so funny. A corporation's like, hey, would you like $100,000 a year to be a project manager? And you're like, yeah, I want to make 6 figures. Or how about even $200,000 a year?
Right.
What do you think they're making off you? Probably $2 million a year, if not more.
Yes.
Honestly, it should be more to their standards.
Yeah.
You know. they're probably going to pay you somewhere between like 1 and 10%.
Right.
You know, and that's 10% is like crazy. Maybe you're like a VP, but it's not like you're not like taking direct payment and like seeing it leave. And I think that's why. Or what about like any of these like McDonald's or these like fast food places? Like, bro, they're making thousands off that 7, 8, 10 an hour.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's like every other job does this. Why is it like weird
that we do it
with tattooing?
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like it is. Like, I'm glad you don't face the bitterness with it, but I feel like there's a bitterness.
Well, because this is what I do. Like when we hire someone new, I just say, what do you want to make per week?
Right. Okay.
You know, like, and okay, like, do you want to make 100% of zero?
Yeah. Right. You can't.
Or like,
you need to work. Yeah.
Okay. Like, tell me this. Like, let's say I hired you and you're taking home this. I'm just going to use like ridiculous numbers, but $10,000 a week, right?
Right.
Would you say yes?
Yeah.
Like as an artist?
Yeah.
What if I'm like, but I'm going to make, every time you make 10,000, I'm going to make 100,000.
Right.
Are you really stupid enough to turn that down?
See, I wouldn't think so. I mean, so for them, you're doing the marketing for them though, to where they could make that 100,000, right? Like, are you helping them book, or like,
so
is it all on them?
It's always going to be a give and take.
Right.
You know, me personally, just how my mind works, it's like I just try to like look in my own pocket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're saying like, yo, you can come here and make 3, 4, 5,000 a week, and wherever you were before, you're making 200, 300, 1,000. What? Like even if I'm taking like 90%.
Yeah.
Why would you say no?
Yeah.
And most artists.
Are you upfront with them about how much money you're making on the back end?
Well, it's of course they can do simple math. If I'm like, hey, I'm taking 60%.
Yeah.
From you. I mean, I'm not
right,
nowhere ever
no,
am I taking 60%. But anyone can figure it out.
Yeah.
But to be honest, most artists say no.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why.
I feel like most of those artists would get a year into that, right? Making their $10,000 a week, doing great, whatever. They'd build up their little Instagram, and then it'd be like, fuck you, John. I'm going to go do this by myself, because they think that they can. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think what they would end up doing.
A lot of them do, and I'm using not real numbers.
Right,
but real situations.
Yeah, I feel like that's normally what would happen, though, is the person would be like, oh my God, I'm giving them all this money. I can do this on my own private studio. Like, I feel like that's usually where it comes from, is greed. You know what I mean? Instead of seeing that you are supplying everything, the shop is gorgeous. They're getting all the sponsorships and everything. I feel like they don't put 2 and 2 together. They think that once they get to a certain point, they would be able to get all that for themselves.
Well, and kind of even funnier is, like, we don't really hold anything back, I don't think. No. I'm literally like, here's the contact to the marketing guy.
Right.
Here's the contact to the sponsorship. Here's everything.
Yeah.
And then the ones will leave, you know, after they're making, you know, whatever they're making.
Right.
And then they don't uphold all those relationships.
No, they can't.
And and then the numbers go down. And it's like, why don't you just come back? Like, you're literally, what you're doing is like, you're paying me to keep your machine going.
Yes.
You know, like, why don't you just do that?
Right.
You know, and there would be, you know, there's arguments like all around and whatever, but because the topic came up, like, should we do booth rent for the new shop?
Yeah.
Me personally,
you make way more.
I chose not to.
Yeah.
Well, the main reason I chose not to is because I didn't want to create that disconnect.
Yeah.
Between, like, I always want to be in a win-win.
Yeah.
Like, if you win, I win. If you lose, I lose too.
Yeah.
So we have to figure it out together.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't want to become like a landlord.
Yeah.
The only way that makes sense for me is if, and I've thought about this too, is if I buy the property, I purchase the property.
Yes.
So like, I own this.
Right.
You know,
which is millions of dollars can we throw out there? You can't get any commercial stuff under $1 million.
And then I fill it with tenants, you know, with tattooers.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't give a fuck if we profit because you're paying off my asset.
Yeah.
You know, because how is it like, I just couldn't imagine like I'm sitting there crushing it on this like $1 million asset, and like you had a bad week and you still have to pay me booth rent. I'll be like a slumlord, you know?
Yeah.
But I see like kind of everyone moving to booth rent, and I
I feel like the artists there they chose that. They
all
would
the
rather
artists
that.
want booth rent,
Yes,
and I
they
can't
do.
figure out why.
Well,
bro.
for me, like I definitely I'm making good money, and so I didn't want to kiss because I feel like I market myself and I book myself and I do everything myself. So I didn't want to give. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to give away half my money. So I'm like, what? Give you $2,000 a month? You pay for all my shit? You're stupid. Yes, like yes, I would love that. You know. So I have both shops are different. Subcultures is on percentage, and then Anatomy is on booth rent, and I'm like one is proving to be more successful than the other. You know what I mean? That I wouldn't have expected, but I feel like a lot of artists want booth rent. So I kind of gave them the option, you know?
And I get that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like one person versus 30.
Right.
Or whatever,
right.
You know?
Because we can't be doing both. Because now if you're on
Right.
percentage and you're on booth rent and you just paid month, now you're bitter. So like it has to be one or the other. We're either all booth rent or we're all percentage. And if this one over here works way more than this one over here, the percentage like pisses everybody off. Because they're like, well, I came in all week and they didn't do anything and now I gave you more money. Like I just feel like tattoo artists are so bitter. Like I love that you haven't ran into that, but I feel like they're like they're greedy.
Yeah,
okay, I feel like they're really greedy.
Well, it's like, I think, yes, they are greedy. Like, and I, you know, definitely have had times where like I've, you know, reacted to greed and like been that way. So I think it's more like trying to create like a checks and balances system. Because at the end of the day, like if you're saying like tattoo artists are greedy, I'm like, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
But I'm also a tattoo artist.
Right.
So it's like I'm not separating myself.
I chose
from
that booth rent too.
Sure, whatever it is. But it's the booth rent thing, it's like, it's just tough because I want to really be connected to my artists.
Yeah.
And like, and I want to help them.
Right.
You know? But like, if you're on booth rent, so like your margins are the same and you're struggling and you're like, help, financially, it makes no sense that I would help you.
Yeah.
And the argument could be like, well, if you help them, you'll keep them. It's like, well, why don't I just find someone that I don't have to help?
Right.
And it becomes this weird transactional bullshit thing.
Right.
I'd rather just be like, cool, like you're on a percentage. Let's figure this out together.
How we can make you busier.
Right.
Yes.
Or like, yo, you're struggling. And like, I feel that.
Yes.
Because now we're both struggling.
Right.
I don't know. That
I
for
get
me,
both
that's
sides
just,
of it, having it both in both shops. I really do. I do get both sides of it.
But then it's like with the booth rent, like how did you figure out the booth rent?
So it's okay. So I went 2,000 with it.
I hope you don't mind me asking.
I don't mind
this,
at
like,
all.
your whole
All the
business
girls know what they pay too.
All
So
right,
I went 2,000 with it, and with that, I literally cover everything besides your needles and inks. You know what I mean? Everything disposable. You go to the back and get it. Snacks for the clients, go and get it. Drinks for the clients, go and get it. And the fact that I have a 2,000 square foot space, we've got 8 girls in there. I was doing fine. You know what I mean? I was really doing fine. I was profiting a little bit. Like it was paying off the credit cards because we were talking about loans. It was doing really well. And like I said, now as of just a couple of days ago, you know, the girls came to me and they're like, this is too much. You know what I mean? We're struggling. We're not booking as much, whatever. Because I have the same kind of situation where we're booked out months at a time. So I'm like, now I feel like the girls are feeling that things are slowing down. Things are getting a little crazier. And so they wanted to drop it back a little bit. And now that I did not plan for. The new number that we're sitting at is like not substantial. I feel like for what I thought. Why did they want
to drop it back?
Because they can't afford it.
Did the rent get cheaper?
No, that's what I offered. No, that's what I offered. I was like, either I don't get you supplies and we'll come down on the rent. You know what I mean? But if you want to stay with everything that I supply, we need to stay where we're at. Well, ultimately, they all decided that they want to cover their own supplies, which I'm like, okay, I think that's a mistake, but they have to figure it out on their own. You know what I mean? Also, for me, though, I'm like, okay, if I'm not spending $1,000 on gloves anymore, maybe we'll end up being at the same exact place. But I kind of just figured it out by adding up all my bills, kind of figuring out what I wanted to make. And then it was like, okay, we're going to be at $2,000 an artist, you know, which I thought was fair. It's $500 a week. If you know how much we tattoo, that's not
like when your
bad.
rent raises by 3% as
every year.
Will you raise their rent?
That's what I was already thinking about. Like this has all have been stuff that's in my mind the last couple of days, and I'm like, okay, so now I just dropped the rent, and my rent is gonna go up. So.
What about 20% inflation on real estate?
Right.
Will you raise that? Like these are the questions that I have for myself.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking to myself now that the next
or
artist that I bring on is gonna stay at 2,000. That was a thought too. I'm like, okay, maybe in 3 years I say, okay, this is why you work for somebody else because it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into this shit. Like it's overwhelming. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I feel like that's why a lot of shop owners will be like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And you're like, you're just a hater. You're just negative.
So sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I guess what's really like put some fuel into this conversation for me, like right now, is in the last week, like I had a really close buddy like call me and really just be like, yeah, I'm shutting my shop down.
Yeah.
You know, and
they're stressful. There's a lot going on.
It's not a small shop.
Right.
You know, it's like someone I've looked up to my whole career, and because he like don't want to like take from the artist, and I get that, but it's like, yo, like, can't just figure it out fucking together.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone knows at the shop, like at my artist, like I want you to make money.
Right.
Like I want you to be fucking rich and happy and your family taken care of, and here, like your kids go to private school, whatever you want, like whatever your dream is, I want you to have that.
Yep.
Why aren't I allowed to have that too?
Right.
Why can't we have that together?
Yep.
You know, and this like disconnect that's like been created, and then like receiving the blame, it's like, no. And I think it's greed? I think it's more like fear.
Yeah.
You know, like, you're afraid like you won't be able to take care of your family or yourself or your dreams or whatever. Let's just figure it out together.
Yeah. See, and I feel like, John, that's where we did figure it out together. We figured out that for them, dropping the rent $500 and not covering their supplies is going to be better for them. So I'm like, you know what? I'm taking a hit on the back end, but I'm going to keep my girls. I'm going to keep my shop. It's still going to pay for itself. I'm not in the negative. I'm just not as much in the positive. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? Run it. Like, whatever you guys need, let's run it, you know?
And if everyone's happy, that is a perfect solution.
Yeah, it really is. Everybody was so worried about us being all girls together anyways, you know what I mean? So the fact that we truly are, like, besties, there's no bad blood, no one's talking shit about one another, like, I really feel like they're, like, my best friends. So I'm like, okay, if everyone is collectively struggling, what can I do? You guys want to order your own gloves? Fine, drop it. You know what I mean? Like, whatever I can do to make sure that I don't end up losing the whole crew, because I don't want to lose it yet, you know? But it ran through my head, and I'm like, holy shit, you definitely picked up a lot. All you had to worry about yourself was you and who your appointment was the next day. And now I'm like, the girls that are on percentage also, I'm really worried about them too. I'm like, how do I get them more walk-ins? I need to share for them. Like, it's overwhelming feeling like everyone is eating off your plate. And my plate is full because I've been tattooing for 11, 12 years. But like trying to get them to where they're to that point, it's like hard. I can't figure out how to get them to the same point.
And I think everyone is experiencing that. And like, if it keeps trending the way that it's trending, like we're going to see some major changes.
Yep. You know how many tattoo artists are going and getting jobs? Like regular jobs, like it's insane. When we used to be the ones that like our friends were bitching to us about having to work 9 to 5s, and you're like, oh, I just made $700 today. Like, let me not, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I see that a lot of people in the industry, I feel like this is the slow season that our mentors warned us about for years, like that we needed to know was coming. And I'm like, I hope that we either find a way out of it or like, I don't know, maybe it's scary. Like what's going on right now.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah. We hope it's going to that
I mean, it is.
It's either going to get better or worse, though.
No, it's just going to be fine.
Yeah.
You know, and like,
it'll correct itself.
People that like you and I who have been through slow season before, it's like, just save your money and just know that it's coming. You know, winter's coming.
Yep.
And then just wait and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But like, and I know because I've experienced this, but you feel it every year.
Yeah.
Maybe not the last 3 years with COVID and
because everyone had so much money.
Right, and Sleepy just handed out money to everyone.
Yep.
But all the years before, it was like, it was good, and then it wasn't. It was good, and it was, like, we made videos about that, and everyone's like, 100%. Like, that's just what it is.
Right.
You know, like, if anything, like, just be grateful that we had 3 years where that kind of didn't exist.
Yep.
You know, maybe you're watching and you're like, still doesn't exist for me. Like, that's great. You know, that's cool too. Like, I want everyone to make money.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fine. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But all these, like, babies that just came in while, like, the getting was good and it was hot.
Yep.
It's like, yo, hey, we noticed you've been here for a little bit now.
Yeah.
Let me explain what slow season is to you, and these things just happen.
Happened, yeah.
It just it's part of being, you know, a tattooer. It's part of a lot of industries.
Plus, some of these tattoo artists need to be so, like, stop being so picky all the time. Like, you can't bitch about not making money, but then also turning down tattoos because you just don't want to do them. Like, you pick one or the other. You either stay on only doing the shit that you want to do, or you do what you have to do sometimes to make the money. You know what I mean? Like, it just depends. If you're capable of doing it, just do it. Or if you're just going to bitch about, you know what I mean, not being able to make the money on it. Like, I'll still bang out some words. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's my old mentality, though. Like, I'm going to run it. I'm going to make money no matter what. Did I want to do the skin tear flag? No. That one wasn't as fun to me. I might have turned that one down. But if I was down and on my ass, hell yeah, I would do it. Like, I just
that
don't.
shit every day.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yo, I'm not getting any walk-ins, and I got a walk-in coming in. Like, you want this? Like, no,
It's
give
not
it
my
I like that shit.
vibe.
no,
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, bro, why am I going to ask you for the next one?
Yes.
What, just wait for one...
Yeah. Do it
specifically
and be
for you to
happy,
come
you know
in?
what I mean? Be nice, be happy, treat that person like you haven't been doing this for 12 years. Like, I took some walk-ins at the shop the other day, did some fingers tattoos just because I had an hour. Like, you're never too good to just do a fucking tattoo. Our job
to
is
make
dope.
money.
Yeah, our job is dope. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be doing the cool shit. It's not what it's always about, you know?
Yeah.
Would you prefer to do that most of the time? Yeah, but like, you don't have
Well,
to.
because what could happen is like, someone could come in and I could be like, cool, like, you want safe money? I'll just give you a salary. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
You know, and especially a new person, they might be like 60, 80,000 a year.
Right.
And I'm like, cool. You're going to be here 5 days a week. You know, you'll be here 9 to 5.
Yep.
I'm going to throw you tats. You're going to rip them all day.
Yeah.
I'm going to collect all the money.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
just
I'll
going to
pay you
paycheck.
that. Yeah.
And I'll probably make like 500,000 a year off you.
Yeah.
You know? And
John,
like,
I love it.
If you want to like do that, we can just do that.
Yeah.
You know, we can go corporate.
Right.
You know? And like, guess what? When you make complaints or like you say words you're not allowed to say and we have HR and you get fired,
Yeah.
I'll just hire another one of you.
Right.
You know, and everyone becomes replaceable.
Yes.
Right?
What a way to run that, John. I swear to God.
It's
I
not,
mean,
it works.
It wouldn't really be hard to open a shop like that.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it could be possible, definitely.
Yeah, you just go take out a loan.
I feel like it's being done.
You know, you fucking rip salary for like a year.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't profit for like a year. You just put tons of money into marketing, but it don't matter because you're keeping all the money.
Yeah.
You know? So you could
You
do
could
like,
find one of these newbies to do that for sure. They'd be like, hell yeah. Get me out of Arby's.
Yeah, we'll do all like
Tats.
little micro tats. We'll make sure that they don't heal well, and we'll charge for touch-ups. It'll be sick, bro.
Do you do apprenticeships? Have you ran a couple apprentices through? Or no?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Actually,
And you're about it? You'd like take another one?
I love it.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, dude.
He's pretty good at it.
I take the broken ones.
Stop
you know?
it. I love that though.
Yeah, the amputees.
All right, now are you like a 2-year turnaround? Do you give them or do you crash course them? Like what's your way?
2 year.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I try to really do it the way that it was done to me.
Yeah.
Because I I don't want to think I'm better than tattooing, where like I'm so good that I can just start making shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was a way that was taught to me and it worked, so I'm going to try to like stay close to that.
Yes.
Exactly? No, because you can't hit them anymore.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And we don't really have metal tubes anymore for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah.
So like that's dead.
Right.
Can't hit them with the tubes.
Right.
But I took like a little break just because I had to travel so much this year, and I actually like kind of felt bad because Logan, my apprentice now, is like he's still in the tail end of it. I felt like we didn't have enough time together. So just recently, actually in the couple months, I'm like, yo, I know this is kind of annoying, but you're following me around.
Yeah.
Like at this shop, that shop, here, just so we could spend more time together.
Absolutely.
Because he was just kind of like at borrowed time. And, you know, we have like 10, 15 artists there, and like they were taking care of him.
Yeah.
But I felt fucking
You
guilty.
have the responsibility,
I felt guilty.
right.
I mean, he's 2 years in, you know,
Right.
like it's not, you know, I didn't.
Is he tattooing yet? Or are you going to get
Yeah.
into the tube?
No,
before
he's
he is?
tattooing.
Okay. He's just not
And
cut
he's
loose yet.
charging.
Okay,
He
good.
just started.
Yeah.
It's sick, bro. And
Yeah.
that is so cool when that happens.
Yeah. It's like
when
a
they start
kid,
making
right? It's like
money.
you having like a kid.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have any kids, but
And your
like,
kid
I
becomes
would
a
imagine,
basketball player. It's
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We do have a question in the comments that does pertain to this. So we have Trent, I'm not going to butcher your last name. Random question, but would starting an apprenticeship now at 32 be a bad choice? Let me see. Is there a follow-up to it? I think he was just worried that like it's so time consuming and maybe the payoff won't really
I think it's a
happen,
little
so-
harder when you're older because you do, like, for most people, you're working for free. You know what I mean? When you do it when you're a little bit younger, you might still be living with your parents. It might be a little bit easier to just be going to a shop 5 days a week and not making any money in the beginning. Like, it's kind of hard for people to balance not having, like, income. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not that it's impossible. You can do it. I think so. But I feel like it would be a little harder. What do you think?
It will definitely be harder.
Yeah.
But I think, Trent, like if you have good communication with the mentor, like I say this, I know I've said this a million times and it'll literally never change, but like if you're looking for a mentor, like you should look for someone that has what you want.
Yes.
That's it. Like if they don't have what you want, they're not going to be able to teach you to get that.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, maybe like if I have a family, like I might be like looking for a mentor that also has a family.
Yes.
You know, or because they'll know how to manage their time and do all this.
It's important to like that person. So the people that just go around to any kind of like shop and just like
Right.
just trying to get in anywhere, like I feel like that's where sometimes like these, I don't know, they're
and
getting
like
those shitty
explain your
experiences.
situation.
Yeah.
You know, what do you say? He's 32.
32.
I'm 32. I'm extremely good looking. Whatever his situation, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I
I
like
hit both on the head.
this is tough. You know, I have adult responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like, is this realistic?
Right.
And I'm sure you'll find someone that's like, yes, and you guys will come up with a schedule that makes sense. But yeah, most of the time, apprenticeships are unpaid.
Yep.
They're very time consuming.
Yep.
Like even Logan right now, he's a little older. He's 26, I think, right?
Yeah.
And he started at maybe 24, 25,
Yep.
which is a little older. He lives on his own. His family is not here to support. So he'll work here for 10 hours, and then he goes to his other job
Across
where
the
he makes
street.
money.
And that's a dedicated artist with
Yeah.
a strong work ethic, which is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really is. You got to just find someone that wants to like fight that fight. Not a lot of they want it, but they don't really want it. So I
Sure.
guess it would just depend on, you know what I mean? Like on
But
them
you
if you
figure
really
out
wanted
shit
it.
that like works. Like when Logan was starting, like with our merch company, I was like, cool. Every shirt you bring to the post office, like I'll give you $1.
Yep.
You know, and so he was able to make a couple $100 a week.
Yep.
Or like you find like little shit around the shop.
You used to
to
get
help
paid
'em.
sometimes for doing the tubes. They'd
Or
tip me like
whatever-
maybe $50
yeah,
for
whatever
doing
it
them all
is,
week.
bro.
You know what
or
I mean?
like sometimes my clients are tipping them out. Like maybe it's not guaranteed, but it's not nothing. We're always finding something for
You're gonna buy them
do.
lunch. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
or
Shit
I'm
like
like,
that.
pick this dude up
Fuck
from the
that.
airport.
We bought him a goddamn PS5 dog.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Trent also mentioned, also, I am in Minnesota and the tattoo scene is still quite gatekeepy here, which really makes things a little more, I don't know, scary.
I think one of the best ways to get in with someone that you want to get into is start going to get tattooed with them, like build a relationship with them. Because I feel like I would be 10 times more quick to offer an apprenticeship to someone that I really truly liked and had bonded with than someone that just walked in off the street. You know what I mean? I think that that's a good way to try to get in with somebody is getting tattooed by them first. But
Yeah.
it's hard to get into our industry. You're going to get told 100 times no. That's why I said that my situation was just unheard of. That's weird that they reached out to me, but I also feel like that's because it was 12 years ago and the industry wasn't what it is now. You know what I mean? It was still,
Yeah.
you know, you still needed tattooers. Now they're everywhere.
Yeah, it is a bit saturated.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I think that's why it's important to be nice and
Yeah.
make sure that you're offering something different because there's so many people that are good, especially in Florida. We've got some hitters in Florida.
Yeah.
So I think that if you want to keep those clients, you need to make sure that you treat them good.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, and I think there's so many tattooers now. Like, even if maybe most of Minnesota is like gatekeepy, like just keep looking for people.
Open that
I
gate,
think you'll
dog.
find someone. And like I know it because I know when I was going around for an apprenticeship, like it felt like I went to everyone, you know, and I just went to everyone in like a 20-mile radius. So like I opened it up to a 30 or a 50. Like you keep looking, and this is like when I was 16, 17,
Yep.
you know, but it is discouraging, you know, and it is a lot of work. But I think like you said, if you show the interest and the dedication,
Yep.
people are a lot more like open-minded
Yep.
to the idea.
Because we know how hard it is going to be. I feel like that's the main thing and why it's so tough is because we know how tough it is to do that with someone, how long it's going to take and how much dedication it's going to take.
Yeah.
Like by the time that now that I have both studios and I'm pregnant, I'm like, I'm not getting an apprentice. I have no idea what's going to be going on with my life. You know what I mean? It's just going to be too much for me right now in the future. Maybe now, hell no.
But
You're
if
gonna have
I'm
a life
doing, like,
apprentice.
anything-
Yeah, right.
If I'm doing anything and it's like easy, like school or something, like I know I'm not gonna like learn anything.
Right.
You know, if it was like a breeze, I'm like probably learn nothing,
Yes.
right? So it's like if you're finding yourself in an apprenticeship that you feel like that, you're probably not learning shit, you know, and you're probably gonna quit.
Yep. Or like I said,
Or
have a
open a
couple of bad
private studio.
experiences, you know what I mean? Working for someone that like just really didn't care about you, but wanted to just like pump some money through the doors. Like, I feel like it's a really big commitment. And like these days, I feel like a lot of people are just crash coursing them. You know what I mean? 3 months
Yeah.
crash course, pay me $5,000, cut you loose. Work
Just
for me
want a
for 2
janitor,
years.
essentially.
Yeah.
People
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
want to
They get you
train, they
come
just
work
want
for
to,
6
yeah.
months and then haze you out of there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's still definitely old school shit like that too. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's hard to get into our industry. It is. But if you really want it and it's meant to be,
Yeah, go for
you'll make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's not impossible. You can make it happen.
It's going to eat you more up that you didn't try.
Yeah, absolutely. 32 is not so old. You're just beginning, starting out, right?
It's the new 22.
What do you think our success rate on apprentices is? 40?
after last week?
40? We just had one quit.
Did you?
I really liked him too.
Yeah, me too. Who's going to clean now? I think we have a really good success rate. Most of the time they stay with us.
Yeah.
So I think that's a testament to.
Well, the only ones that my definition of success is like
They're a good tattooer now?
finished
and they're
and either they're still here or like, because my thing is like, yo, if I'm gonna apprentice you, like you're doing 2 years, and give me at least 2 years after.
Yes, that's
you know?
standard.
Ideally, like start to finish,
Standard.
give me 5 years.
Yes,
that's
that's
kind of
standard.
what
I
always
put you
was
into this.
said to me.
Yes.
But honestly, even if you make it to that 2 years and you leave right away, I'm still like, okay, success. Like you're a tattooer now. If you leave like 9 months in and then you go scratch somewhere, I'm like failure.
Yep. No, I agree.
I think we're
so too.
I think we're like 40%.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say 40%.
Yeah. How many apprentices have you had?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah, like over 10.
I am so close-minded to. I will not do it. I won't. I just had someone call me again yesterday. I'm like, I'll let you know. Like,
makes you better.
Yeah. So like, have to teach somebody else.
We'll have to figure out why you're doing, because they ask you questions you never even thought to ask yourself.
Right.
You know, and you're like they're like, why do you have your thumb like that? I'm like,
black.
What?
Right.
No, like when I'm like stretching.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, why do I?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and you're like, you're paying attention to the wrong shit.
Right.
You know?
Because you do.
Yeah.
I just realized the other day that I'm not using curved mags right now, and I've always used curved mags. And Katie was like, you know, what kind of mags are you using? I'm like, they're 9 curved. And she like pulled them out. She's like, no, they're not. I'm like, what? They sent me the wrong shit. Like, I wouldn't even have realized if she wouldn't have asked me. You know what I mean?
Why do you grip your machine like that?
Yes, I hold my machine super weird. I really do. Like, instead of holding my coil like straight back, I hold it to the side where it's like kind of hanging over my hands right here.
Like a
and
child
she's like, why do you
uses a
hold it like that?
Crayola?
I'm like, I don't know. I have a really baby hand, and I feel like that's just where it evens out. You know what I mean?
Bro,
I don't know.
like, I think it might have been like Cam, because he's a curious little motherfucker.
Yeah. Shit.
He was like, why do you like back drag with mags? This was like years ago.
Yeah.
And I like never thought about it.
Yeah.
And like I actually like looked into it and like figured out why, you know, because there's no resistance on the cartridge.
Right.
Therefore, it gives you a softer hit.
Okay.
Like I knew what it produced, but I never understood why.
Like why you're doing it that. Yeah.
Because he asked me the question, I looked into it and actually figured out why.
Right.
You know,
you never have imposter syndrome, like thinking you're not good enough to teach these people how to do tattoos? Because I feel like that's a fear too. Yeah.
Compared
like,
to this idiot?
Am I literally good enough to even show you this? Like, no. You said.
No, I take on 18-year-olds. Right. I never have imposter syndrome.
Whatever he says goes. Even if
Wait, Sean, didn't you say, how old are you? You're in your 30s?
32,
You're 32?
Yeah.
You can still like kick it with an 18-year-old and not get fucking annoyed?
Yeah, actually. But
Yeah?
I've like learned my own. I just make fun of them the whole time.
Okay.
You know, but like it's like you just kind of like big brother them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you mostly do men? Mostly do boys?
Now I exclusively do men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would take a lot for me to apprentice like a woman.
Yeah.
I just look at it like to be honest, because like I'm in recovery.
Yeah.
So I look at it a lot like sponsorship, like in recovery, and like when you get clean. I don't know if you're familiar, but
I am.
like,
I'm familiar. Not myself. But
okay, yeah. So like you get a sponsor, and you like work, you like work with them.
Yeah.
So that's how I like treat the apprenticeship.
Okay.
You know, and I think like men with men, women with women, whatever.
Yep.
That's kind of like a traditional view. I know, and maybe I should change.
I feel like you're safer off that way these days.
But
honestly.
it's like you might be like dealing with problems that like I have never experienced and will never experience.
Right.
And I can't give you my experience on that.
Yeah.
You know, sure, like I could hook you up with like another woman in the shop or vice versa, hook me up with another male in the shop.
Right.
But for me, it's just like a little easier. Like, I'm like, cool, like you're a guy, like you're dumb, you're always looking for a solution. Like I can get with, that's how I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So just to keep it easier, like that's how I do it.
I would seek out a girl as well. And I understand
But
why.
if a chick comes in, like, I'm going to point you in the direction of all the females in the industry that I respect.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be like, this is who I would go with or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's how I'll do it.
Okay. I respect that. I love that you're so down to do it. I've been so close to it. So maybe I could consider maybe after my baby
just
gets here.
found the right one.
Yeah.
Because I'm never looking for them.
Right.
And all the time I'm like, yeah, like I'll never do this again.
Yes.
You know? And I used to do it.
Kids.
They are kids. Yes.
I've had a lot of chicks come in that I have apprenticed.
Yeah.
I didn't say sponsored. That I have apprenticed. And all of them were awesome.
Yeah.
You know, none of them worked out.
Yeah.
But they were all really cool. And but what happens is like someone like comes in and they're just like broken, pathetic, like losers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what I am.
Coming in from the rain, my boy.
Yeah. Like when when like
Like-
Cam came in and he's like, bro, you've seen Cam, right?
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen
bro, I
Cam.
gotta show you
Unless
the
he's in
picture.
your videos a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like my apprentice in the video.
Skinny wimpy.
Who was
kid.
the one that just did the faith, the fight?
That's Adrian.
That's
That was his
That's
other
also my
apprentice.
apprentice.
Okay.
So Adrian came in and he was like, I was like, yo, you don't get paid and whatever. He's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I get money. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you have a job? He's like, no, I'm in school. I was like, and you get money? He's like, yeah. He's like, no, he's like from the school.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, why? And he's like, oh, because I'm in these like special classes. He like tried to like flex on me. What I found out is he has like severe learning disabilities, and like he would get paid. No, from the So I was like, that's like cool, like and you know, so like that was my first like heavily disabled child.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, come in. And then like Cam comes in and he's like, you know, he's like, my whole family's poor and my mom has cancer and I need to figure this out. And I'm like, what are you willing to do to fix all that?
Yeah.
And tattoo. And he's like, I'm willing to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're hired.
Yeah.
And then Logan came in and he's missing his whole leg. And I'm like, you're hired. You know?
He didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Just, all right, buddy.
Like because when I came into tattooing, I'm like, I'm homeless, I'm strung out, and I will do anything to not be this.
Yeah.
And that is the only thing I know how to work with.
Right.
So I need people that are also willing to do anything.
That's why it's important to make sure that you and your mentor link up. You know what I mean?
Like, I think Adrian just got off at the wrong bus stop, but he was still willing to do anything.
It's a short bus.
You know?
Oh my God, I love that. How long has he been apprenticing? Is he newer?
He's still apprenticing. It's like 7 years.
The oldest. He's been here like 6 years.
Oh my God.
Don't tell him that. He doesn't know track. He doesn't know how to track time.
Right.
Oh my God.
You know what the funny thing was? That John at one point, he was so busy. He goes, Cam, you can do the interview for the apprentices coming up. You know me.
Yeah.
I'll be behind you because we did it in the front table.
Yeah.
Cam said nothing redeeming at all.
Yeah.
He was just like, you're not going to get paid. It's going to be really.
with Logan?
Yeah, a couple of them. And I was
Cam's
kind of
good at it
sitting
now.
like next to him, and I'm waiting for Cam to say, but there is a good side.
Yeah.
It never came.
He didn't. He was just shitting on
He
him the
just
whole
shut
time.
the I'm like,
straight face to face.
Cam, he goes, what? Oh, everyone here is pretty cool.
Yeah,
You're like
with Logan, like, what happened? Because Logan, Cam came up to me privately, and he was like, "Yo, I think this kid is good."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, I told him, like, I was real with him. I told him everything. Like, he's not gonna be happy. He's not gonna succeed. Everyone's gonna make fun of his leg."
Beat him down.
yeah.
And he's like, and he still wants it. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, like, let me meet him. Because I told Cam, like, find an apprentice because I wanted another one.
Yeah.
You know? And so he, like, brings up Logan. And we made a video about this, but it really happened. Cam's like, oh, hey, John, this is Logan. And I, like, look at him, and I'm like, bro, I said get me an apprentice, not half an apprentice.
Oh my God, stop. That was going to show you right there if he was going to be able to handle you.
Exactly.
For sure.
And he goes, oh, I've never heard that before, you know? And he, like, shook my hand.
Yeah.
And I, like, fell in love with Logan.
Right.
I was like, this is the best. We're going to make tons of videos about your leg.
Yeah. We all were trying to find a new joke for him because he's like, I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
oh.
pretty
You guys are
well
basic.
versed.
Yeah, you guys are basic.
Yeah, he used to work at a tattoo shop. I believe he managed one for a little bit. So he's like, I know the hustle and the bustle and what you guys are going to say to me.
Yeah.
I think I can handle this. I'm
Boys
like,
have thicker skin. I feel like that would be a little bit easier for sure, especially for a boy to a boy, you know? So that way you guys can all like fuck around and be dudes, like, and they not get their feelings hurt. Or if they did, you would just fuck
Adrian got
around
his
even more.
feelings hurt.
But, I mean, like, I don't know. Logan, we were probably the softest on. There have definitely
100%.
been time. Like, with Adrian, I think we took it too far.
Yeah. Adrian's been here for 6 years and he's still an apprentice?
Well, you know, they're always an apprentice to me.
Yeah. Okay. But what kind of style does he do? Do you teach them your style? They do their own? Like, what do they do?
They learn mine in the beginning, but I'm like, what style do you want to do?
Okay.
And like Adrian wanted to do anime.
Okay.
Which he does now.
Cool.
Which I don't really do. But then like maybe we'll bring in some anime artists and like, you know, it's like, okay, I'll teach you the basics, and then what are we doing for like further learning, further education, and you just kind of like figure.
Once you know how to put it in, you figure out what you're going to tattoo with it.
Yeah,
you know
like I
mean?
even went to
That's how I
like
live my
anime.
life.
I went to Anime Incon with all them, and I remember like you know, because he
You had
wanted to
fun?
do that. Well, everyone's like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah, I've never been to one of those. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I mean, I had fun.
Yeah.
It was good, and Adrian had fun. They all had fun.
I have an
know?
anime artist with us as well, and she is just so cutesy, bubbly, pinky. Like, oh my God, she's a great time.
Right, but it's like
Yeah.
you know, we can't teach them
No.
everything. You know, so it's like we would give you the basics and then hook you up with the people that can teach you more.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should take an apprentice though.
Do it.
Eventually.
After the baby.
I think after the baby.
After
right?
the baby.
I'm so worried about how much I'm going to be able to work after this. This is my first kid. So I'm like, there's going to be no more 9-10 hour days. I know that's dead. You know what I mean? For at least a little bit. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking at most, I'll probably only be able to go in, do one. Because right now I still do 2. I'm still hungry. I'll still do 2 tattoos a day. No problem. I'm there from like 10 to 9 o'clock at night. But I'm like, I just need this. I need him to get here. So I can be like, okay, how much are you really going to take from me? Or am I bringing you to the shop? Because
I'm only going to take the walk, little guy.
Yeah, for real. I'm planning on taking 2 months off, but I think that's going to be really hard for me. I've never taken that long off since I've started.
That's actually really
I wonder
short.
if that dynamic is going to have you overanalyze the shop.
Having a baby?
Yeah.
Yeah? In what ways? What do you mean?
Sterilized.
Like,
for sure.
Because whenever I have a lot of time off, I come back and I like rearrange everything at the shop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now that definitely might
I'm
happen.
like, you're fired. You're fired.
Well, see, one of the other girls at the studio, Aslan, we're both pregnant. She's a week in front of me, literally to the day. So we're both going to be out of the studio at like the same exact time. This is both our first kids. So we're both like, damn, what's this going to do to our careers? Because it's funny, neither one of us wanted to have kids at all. Like we didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
So
Don't
I'm
say
like,
that in
all right,
front of
this
the baby.
is different. I know. We won't tell him. Don't show him this, even though there's a internet trail. But I don't know. I'm excited to see how that's going to go out. I mean, I feel like we really do have a really awesome job, and I think I'm going to be wanting to get back to it. So I'm like, 2 months off is a scary thing, especially I'm like, what if I suck when I come back? Even though I know it's like riding a bike, I'm like, what if I don't know how to run a line anymore? So I don't know. Those have all been fears because I'm supposed to be taking off from like December to March.
So you said one of your artists is pregnant?
Yep. Aslan's pregnant with me.
And then obviously like she'll take time off,
Yes.
right? And there's no maternity leave for tattoo
No.
artists.
I offered to cut her booth rent down a little bit.
Oh, you're a sweetheart.
I know, because I'm like, I want to help, you know what I mean? But also at the same time, I'm holding your space,
Right.
so I can't just like let you go 3 months with nothing, you know what I mean? But I did, since she's not going to be there using anything, I did offer to bring her booth rent down while she's gone. But I mean, like with me, I still throw money into the shop account too, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when I'm
of
tattooing
course.
or whatever. So I'm like, I'm worried. We'll see how this goes, you know what I mean?
I wonder if like, because if we go back to like the example we were talking about and you're on a salary, you know, and then like you're W-2 and now you get health insurance and you can get, paid vacation and maternity leave. Like, I wonder if that would be of interest to more family dynamic tattooers.
Right? Maybe. Maybe.
I'm
'Cause I
actually
know
just-
she's planning on coming back too after 2 months because she wants that money,
Yeah, yeah.
She's
It's
going to be
like, what
living
do you-
off
what do you
savings
do?
for 2 months.
What
Exactly.
happens if you get hurt?
Yep.
Like, there's all these like things, but it's,
Yeah, just
and
the
like
unknown.
it's cool. Like it's cool that like you're working with her, but I don't think every shop artist would do that.
No.
You know?
I don't think so either.
Do you
No.
think you'd be as kind if you weren't as pregnant?
If I wasn't as pregnant, no, I would. I love her. I love her. So I think that I would be. I don't know. I really like her. So I feel like it was an easy thing. When she came to me and talked to me about it, she was so nervous to ask me about it and like was beating around the bush at first. I mean, just what do you need from me? Lay it out.
Yeah.
What do you need? And so she said, I'm like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. She only asked for 2 months. I gave her 3. Take
What
the
if
3.
she wasn't pregnant and she like broke her hand?
Raise that shit.
Well, I mean, if she's
I'll
not at
break
the
her other
shop,
hand.
no, I don't know, John. If she wasn't at the shop, I feel like I would be just as nice. I really love all the girls at the studio,
Good.
so I feel like I'm really inclined to help them because I love them. I don't want to lose them. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like I would probably do whatever I could, but I might on the back end be like, "Yo, do we care if I put a guest artist in your station for 2 weeks?"
Sure,
you know what I
sure.
mean? Like maybe because the bills still gotta get paid, honey.
Yo, honestly, like I would also do that. I'd be very upset and I would
Yeah.
make fun of them and I would talk shit behind their back and all
Naturally.
like the usual things. But like it's tough sometimes, like when the responsibility falls
Yeah.
on you. Like, what are you gonna be, a bad person?
Right. And see, now
What are you gonna
another
be
one
like,
of my
"No, you
artists is
fucking owe
pregnant
me
at the
rent."
other studio. We got 3 girls pregnant because we're all like getting closer to our 30s. This is going to keep happening. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's definitely going to keep happening. And so I'm like thinking about, I'm like, oh my God, everyone's having babies. They're probably not going to want to work as much as they do. Like, that's why at any drop of the hat, this shit can change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the whole shop can be perfect for 3 months and then everything changes. So I'm
Right.
like, that's why, I don't know, being an owner, there's a lot going on all the time. Like,
Yeah.
it is.
Do you know a Justin Woodburn?
Yes.
So he said, if I can get these.
He did the floors at the shop for a really cool chess piece.
Nice.
Yeah, he did.
He said, man, I hate that these. So watching B build both these shops, witnessing her manage the people and handling the business side has been impressive and inspiring. Makes me comfortable as and confident as a customer.
Aw.
So he's just a customer?
Yeah, he's just a really good, like a friend. Yeah, I feel like all of my customers become my friends, but
Nice.
I think that's another thing that I think for artists that are trying to get like busier. So, like I said, I was on social media at 16. all the time because, you know, I grew up on social media, whatever. I feel like a lot of my life has been posted. Like when I bought my house and I renovated the whole thing and like, you know, high school sweetheart relationship falling apart to now like having a great relationship and being pregnant and opening studios. And I feel like it's a really great way to connect with people. Like I feel like a lot of the times when you've got someone that's struggling and they're not staying as booked out, they're not posting about themselves. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that our clients really want to know you. They want to come in and be like, oh my God, I saw that you did this last week. I'm so proud of you. Like, I feel like a lot of my clients, I had posted a thing trying to figure out what we should talk about whenever Brandon was like, what do you want to talk about? So I'm like, oh God, I don't know. So I posted on my Facebook and was like, guys, what do you think I should talk about? So many of my clients were like, you should talk about, you know, your journey and how you open the shops and whatever. I'm like, I'm not going to brag on myself for an hour. I think that's annoying. You guys should do that. Like, I don't think that you should talk about yourself like that. But I know that a lot of people have said stuff like that to me because they've been able to see me since I was 15, 16 to like now I own the 2 shops. And it's like, it is cool. Do you see that you really can do anything you set your mind to? You can.
I agree. And I think, and to be honest, that's like kind of why we like started this, is to give a platform for that. I think that people should be able to tell their story. And I think you can do it in a way that's not bragging.
Right.
It's like, hey, these are just the facts. And like, I'm allowed to be proud of myself.
Yeah. Thank you, Justin. By the way, I love you.
Right. Was that a question?
I was more of a
I
comment.
think he's just being sweet. But yeah, I think so too. I think that marketing yourself is the best thing that you can do. I keep trying to tell the girls is because like, you know, their Instagram. I feel like me too. I post a tattoo, it gets 300 likes. I post a tattoo of me and my boyfriend, 2,000, or just a picture of me and my boyfriend. I feel like a lot of times, like people just, they want to see you. At this point, they know that we're good tattooers. They know it. You know what I mean?
And
so
they don't care.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They're like, I'm going to go to B when it's time to go to B in 6 months when I have money, whatever. Really, they want to know you. I think that that's the best thing that you could do is market yourself and post about yourself and post about your family. And like, I think that if you're trying to get busier, you're trying to get more notoriety online, like you should be more personal.
Yeah.
And go to the conventions and
But
make more friends.
Just like we do with tattoos, like how can I put my own spin on it? How can I create something new?
Yeah.
Like I think we need to do more of that
Yep.
rather than just like hop on a trend.
Yep. So, you know, another thing that I think that would be a lot that these baby tattooers need to understand too, John, is people are allowed to change their tattoos.
Yeah.
They're allowed.
Why,
you know what I
people said
mean?
you're not?
Well, just there's so many tattoo artists out there that are like, you get one change and now I'm rescheduling you 6 months out, or I'm not redrawing it, or I'm not showing it to you. And like,
oh, like the client. should be
yeah,
allowed
like
to change.
no, like the artists are saying to them, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, you don't get to redraw it, or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
or if they want, like, hey, I want to change this, like, well, I think that's stupid. I'm like, I think that you need to understand at the end of the day that they're coming to us for our expertise. So yes, suggest the expertise,
Yeah.
but at a certain point, like, they're coming to you with money that they've probably been saving for the last 6 months and waiting for 6 months to see you. You need to do what they want to do. If they want to change a fucking leaf, change the leaf. Like, I just don't know where that whole big-headed thing has come in, where you're like, well, I'm right, and if you want to change the design, well, now I'm canceling your appointment. That's not how you work with somebody. You know what I mean? And they're gonna remember that. Like,
no,
I think
it's just they're just like stupid.
yeah, no, but there's a lot of them, John, that do that shit. There really is. Like,
Yeah.
I still send my drawings the night before.
I might be guilty of feeling that.
But you
I
still do
apologize.
it. I have felt that way too. Like, I think that you're putting a color next to a color that's gonna look like fucking shit, and then you're wondering why you didn't get on my Instagram. But I mean, you still left like with, she did this purple flower that I wanted for. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I don't know. I think that it really is about the client, and that what sets you apart from them wanting to come back to you is making them feel comfortable and that you didn't get pissed off when they wanted to move the stencil 3 times. Like,
I mean, the way that I set it up where we can do changes and it doesn't bother me and it's fine, it's just like I don't show anything until you get here.
yeah.
And then your day starts.
Yeah. As long as you're willing to make the change, though, that's fine.
And if
you know,
want, we can make changes for 7 hours.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
We could high five. We could play chess. We could make, whatever. Like, you've just purchased me for 7 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Spend it how you want to.
Yeah, bro. Some of my friends, like, halfway through the session, they're like, you want to just go do this?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's your time.
Right.
I'm hanging
You wanna
out
go
with you
bowl?
till 9. We don't have to be at the shop.
Yeah. Do you do a day rate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can literally do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, one of my boys, he books a day rate, and then like we put the stencil on, and then he just wants to rip Pokemon cards all day.
Yeah.
And I like let him know every hour. I'm like, one, like we've been ripping Pokemon cards for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And like your stencil is definitely dry.
Yeah.
If you want to go.
Right.
And I'm also still gonna charge you the day rate.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I'm fine. Like,
oh my God, John, I haven't got there yet.
I don't care.
If I take a 30-minute break, I'm like shaving it off your time, and I hate that about myself because I don't charge you to draw, and I send the drawing the night before. So I'm like, sometimes I wish that I would stop doing that because I've done the math on just taking an hour off a day at the hourly times weekly, monthly, whatever. You're losing thousands of dollars to do that. And I'm like, I'm too nice sometimes.
Stop that today.
Yes, I
make a change.
There's a couple things that you don't look at.
Yeah.
And it's missed time on breaks, that money you've missed out on, and don't look at your Uber Eats bill.
Yes.
That's
I buy lunch for my clients.
That's like the tattoo artist commandment. What's
you buy lunch for your clients?
Sometimes.
I do.
No, I usually don't, because like sometimes I will.
Yeah.
If they're like, what do I eat? I'll be like, oh, you want me to get something? But I always bring my lunch.
Okay, so that makes it different.
So it's like kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I bring lunch because I'm a weird kid.
Yeah.
If you want to order at any time, you can.
Yeah.
Or if they bring it, like I will.
Yes.
But sometimes I feel weird being like, yeah, I'll order you lunch. They're like, what are you getting? And I'm like, I'm
not getting
I
anything.
Lunch.
Yeah, right. Normally I get lunch for my first client, or if you have an all day, I absolutely buy you lunch. If you have a friend there, I'll buy your friend lunch too. Yeah. But then I get to the end of the session, I'm like, oh, well, we did bullshit for 30 minutes. Let me shave that off. And I'm like, I need to stop doing that shit. Yeah. Like, I don't. Yeah. It's too nice. It really is. I do send my drawings the night before though, because I feel like it'll give me anxiety if you walk in or like, well, I really want to change this. Like, I need to be able to freak out and talk shit at home. So that way I can show up and be like, I didn't care that you changed the leaf.
But I think I just communicate, because like I've had people make changes for like 2 hours, and I'm just like, I just am straight with them. Yeah. I'm like, I will 100% change that. It'll probably take me an hour to make that change.
Yeah.
And then we're left with like 5 hours. I won't be able to complete this today.
Right.
But you'll have exactly what you want. Like, if I'm doing that every 30 minutes, there's no...
See, but I'm not getting no asshole ridden from that. And I'm sure your clients are fine with it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not making them feel hostile. You're not making them feel bad. You're not, like, wiping off the stencil pissed off. Like, I just feel like it's... I don't know. I feel like some tattoo artists are, like, mean to their fucking clients. You know what I mean?
Because I think it's, like, fear-based. It's like, well, if we do this, what if it's bad and they blame me? Yeah. If we do this, what if it takes longer and I don't finish and they blame me? What if we do this and it takes longer and I got to charge more and then they blame me?
Right.
Like, just... If you let them know, like, hey, we just hit another fork in the road. Do you want to go left or do you want to go right? And they're like, it's on them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we can do whatever you want, but this will cost this and be this much time. This will look this, and all your friends make fun of you because it's back. Like, whatever you want to do, you know? Like, you pick. I'm just your guide, bro.
Right. Yeah. You're paying me to do whatever you say, right? But I told you.
But it's completely, like, eliminated, and everyone, like, is let that... No, and like, you're going to show up at this time. You'll see the drawing. If you want to make drawing changes, that's totally fine. It eats into your day rate as long as everyone's cool. Yeah. And there's just no guessing. You know, and everyone just knows. I even have clients that are like, I know it'll eat into my time. And I'm like, I'm happy you can read. You know, like, whatever.
So that means you're getting your returning clients, though. So that's good, you know? Like, it's good.
Because back in the day, like, I feel like it all was about, like, the tricks.
Yeah.
And, like, keep everything hush-hush. Don't let them find out. And that just causes problems.
Yes. Yeah, I will let you boss me around all day just to get what you want. Like I said, I might talk shit at home, and that's why I want to draw at home. So that way I can show up the next day and not give a fuck that you ran me around rampant last night.
That is fair. So we do have a question from our boys at the Bold Line podcast, so appreciate you guys listening. I started a tattoo podcast. At what point do you think you should approach companies for sponsorship? A certain amount of views, or...
I like to approach them before I even start the podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Just like about people that you're talking about?
What?
Like people
like sponsorships, like when we initially started Sanoderm, which is still a partner of ours, they were, helping us start the podcast. So,
okay.
What do you think?
Okay, so I have two sponsorships. I have Hustle Butter and Kingpin, and they reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them.
So is this about the podcast, or just sponsorship in general?
How to get the podcast up?
Sponsored, yeah. When's the right time to approach companies about sponsoring the podcast, especially a tattoo podcast?
I'll answer for mine, but beforehand, what is your opinion on sponsors in general? Like, gaining them, working with them?
So mine are amazing. Kingpin is awesome. They treat me so good.
I agree.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Which also sponsor this podcast. Brought to you today.
Awesome. But Hustle Butter 2 has been like incredible, above and beyond with like, awesome. Taking me to shows and like sending me products. I mean, just the guys themselves, like I have really gone all over the United States with them at this point. They treat us so well.
Person at
Hustle Butter?
Yeah.
Seth.
Who's your
100%.
least favorite? No, I'm just kidding.
You have to say the name. What does it rhyme
Right,
with?
yeah, that's definitely my favorite. But I've met so many awesome, like, I got to meet Pony Lawson, bro. It was like
Who's that?
Pony Lawson.
Never heard.
Is
of
he a tattoo artist? Or?
Are you kidding? Are you being for real?
Yeah, we have a show with him.
You're joking. Like, there's no way. Oh my god! But no, there's so many people that I've been able
the
to
bald
meet.
guy.
Like,
I know who you're talking about.
like
Yeah.
I don't know. They're really great. They
James?
send me products all the time. Hustle Butter is wonderful. And then Kingpin, they like asked me to come down for an interview, and then while I was doing like the tattoo, they offered me the sponsorship.
That's cool.
Which was really cool of them. Yeah, and I got to go on the Kingpin fishing trip before they ended.
What?
I didn't
What
even
the
know that was a
fuck,
thing.
Kingpin?
Yeah. It was the first year
Damn.
of Girls to Go. I caught 17 fish.
What? 17 fish?
Yeah.
Kingpin,
That's
if
when
you
I
want
met
us
Tyler-
to run this
I
ad.
met Tyler Nolan, Chase Nolan. Like, that was the first time that I met them, was on that Kingpin
Who are they?
fish. You know who they are, too. It was like on the boat. We all met that day. It was super cool. This is probably like 6 years ago now, but we were me, Lindsay B, and Gina Fote were the first girls that went on that trip. And then they stopped doing it after that. They were like, oh, it's not really worth it. They were trying to do it like, I don't know. I thought it was worth it, and I think we should kick it back up.
Why? They
Kingpin.
charge everyone booth rent?
No, I was not it, John. It was a
Kingpin,
really
I
fun
want to
day.
go to
There were like 3 different boys
A
that
whale
like,
watching
the
trip.
entire time. Like, we're throwing
Oh,
up
like
back off the
seasick
boat.
and
Oh
shit?
my god, the whole fucking day.
man.
Yes, like I'm over there. Me and Gina were reeling them in because we had bets. We had for the biggest fish and the most fish.
That's fun.
Gina run for the
Gambling's fun.
most, and
Yeah.
I was second. And then this other kid run for the biggest, and I was the second on the biggest too. I was pissed. I got cheated out on both ones. But I reeled up 17 fish, baby.
That's sick.
While other boys was puking all day.
How could that not be
We
worth
call
it
that
for them?
I
baiting.
know, right? I think we should do it again. I think we should get it together and we should write Kingpin together and be like, we want to go on this fishing trip. Typically,
Yeah.
you would do it after the Tampa convention. Like on Monday, we all went out deep sea fishing. It was fun.
Look
It
into
was
the
a really
camera
good
and
day.
say that.
Kingpin, we want another fishing trip. You heard me.
You heard it here first.
You heard it from the source.
Right.
The
right.
sponsored artists want to go. So,
Yeah. I
but it
can't-
was really fun. It was cool.
Damn. What would be our trip?
Yeah, do some fun shit, John. What the fuck? Go
I
fishing.
mean, we've taken people airboating in the
That's fun.
Everglades.
That's some Florida
We
shit.
took fucking Cam to the whorehouse, dude.
Yeah, you're right. We took them there, which is also
Oh
brought
my
to you
God.
by.
Yeah. I feel like it would be fun to get a bunch of tattooers and go deep sea fishing. There was like 20 of us. And then we went and ate the fish afterwards.
We would lose too.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It's like, you
people
ever
would
seen
get
open
pushed.
water?
People would get pushed off the boat.
We'll skip
was
that head
definitely
count.
fun.
So, do you try to attract more sponsors? Do you try to let it come naturally?
No, I'm not trying to attract any, I guess. No, because I guess if the first two were like that, like, I think that reaching out to a sponsor is weird. I wouldn't do that. Like,
Right.
I feel like they should reach out to you. I tag them and stuff, like, to let them
Yeah.
know, hey, I'm here.
That's a good
Like,
way to do
you
it.
know, I'll tag, like, Stencil stuff and stuff like that. Like, and I don't know, but I would want them to reach out to me. Like,
What do you think would happen if you like reached out to them?
they tell me no or something. It's like asking for someone's number, and they're like,
How would
no.
you start it off? Act like John's a sponsorship and you want to approach him.
Am I talking to him in person?
No.
Just
No,
over
you're
an
over the
email?
phone.
Well, how would you do it?
I don't know. I guess I'd just be like, hi, guys. You know, I've been using your product for like this amount of years. I tag you in all my stuff. I think your stuff is amazing. I'd be looking for a sponsorship opportunity. If you guys were willing to talk about it, I'd love to hear from you. If not, I totally understand and keep rocking. Like, I feel like that's how I would put that.
Your answer?
My answer?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so happy you reached out. I'm sorry we didn't even, know you existed, but now that you reached out, we know you exist and we want to sponsor you.
You think that's a thing? You really think that's a thing?
I do.
reach out to all my sponsors.
Really?
I even fly across the country and I'm like, you should sponsor me.
But I don't have 400,000 followers, John. Like, I
This
don't.
was
I feel
way
like
before that.
You're a staple. Like, people would want you because you
this
have
was before.
you have a strong
But
presence.
This is, I think most people, including myself, have felt or feel the way you do.
Yeah.
Like, what if I get rejected? Right?
Right.
Because I think that's kind of like what it comes down. What if I look like an idiot in front of this big company?
Yeah.
Like, oh, please sponsor me.
Right. And you go to a convention and they're like, haha, that's Sweet Bee. She asked for a
Bro,
sponsorship and we said no.
You can't go on a date without asking, period.
No, that's why I just said it's like asking for a number and not getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, then how do you get it?
You keep going,
I guess-
dog.
I guess
you
you're
call that
right.
fake ass number until they answer.
I guess you're right. Really, I would love a sponsorship from Eternal. I'm obsessed with them. I've only used their inks. But
Then-
I'm not good enough, I don't feel like, to get a
Then
sponsorship
why
from
don't
them.
you just be like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get that motherfucking sponsor?
I will send this shit to them. Here, let's start it. Look into that camera. let's
Like,
let's talk to
right.
them.
what really happened, what really changed it for me is we were at Philadelphia convention.
Okay.
And I was like, man, like, this was years ago, And I was like, man, I would love to be sponsored by Bishop. Like, they're my favorite company.
Yeah.
You know, and I said this to my boy, who's like a loud mouth, in your face. Like, he's the guy at the bar, and he's like going to girls, and he's like, you want to fuck me?
Yeah.
You want to fuck me? You want to fuck me? You know? And if he says it 100 times, someone says yes.
Yeah.
And he goes home with someone every night.
Right.
You know? He's like, Bishop's here. Let's go talk to him. And I'm like, no, that's weird. What if I get rejected? What if I look like a dumb loser in front of my favorite company? Right. And he's like, no. And he like pulls me. He convinces me. Yo, I was so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And he walks up to the booth, and there's all these people like testing their new wand and whatever. Yeah. And he pushes through him. He's like, get out of here. Get out of here.
You want to fuck me?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, what's your name? And it was James. James. And he's like, James? You know? He's like, James, have you heard about my boy John? Yeah. You need to sponsor him.
John's in the back like,
bro, I fucking melted. I was like, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's like my dad, you know? You should let him play on your team, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, hey, John, you know, I'm sorry I haven't heard of you.
Yeah.
Like, it's nice to meet you. And I was just like, yo, like, I love your product. I was just telling him that, like, you guys are my favorite company.
In private.
And he pulled me up here. And, like, I'm happy he did, you know, but sorry if this is weird.
Yeah.
That's probably, like, very close to what I said.
Right.
I said, oh, it's not weird at all. I'm happy you came up. I'm so happy you like our product. Whatever.
Okay.
I go back to my booth, like nothing happens, right? Then the dude's like walking by and just randomly sees me at the, oh, that's the kid that just came up with the weird kid.
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, oh, hey, John, what happened? Before we did that, he never knew who I was. He would have been walking. He would have just been like, don't know who that is.
You. Yep.
Now, dude, even though nothing was said, now he like knows who I am.
Right.
You know? And that was like the game. Like, if I don't get in these people's face, they're at Philly alone. There are thousands of artists.
The best show. We're
Let
doing
alone
it every
in the
year.
fucking country.
Right.
How the fuck are these guys ever gonna find? Like, I want to rely on just complete dumb luck.
Yeah.
No, like, yo, you may not sponsor me, but you'll know my fucking name.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And like, then I'll show you that I'm gonna support you and like be there. And you might be like, yo, that's John, the annoying kid with 1,000 followers that sucks at tattooing, but they fucking
know you
about
though,
me.
right? That's why going to conventions is important though too. It really is. It's important to play that scene.
Anything. I mean, I'm not lying. Danny and I literally flew out to California to get in front of some companies and be like, we should work together.
Yeah.
Because why? Because I thought no one was stupid enough to do that.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys just flew from Florida with one. Like, yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, how do I get their attention?
Right.
You know?
Did you go to a show or did you just go to, like, straight up their building?
We went to their headquarters.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, we pitched it as we're going to take a tour. And it worked.
No, that's why you got to be dedicated. I'm serious.
And it's like, some of that, sure, did happen, like, while we had the attention, but some of it when it was way before that.
I got KINGPIN from tagging them for 8 years. They said that. They were like, you've been tagging us for so long that we just, we thought it would be a cool opportunity as well. So I'm like, that was a blessing for sure.
Yeah, they get to see your growth too.
Yeah, for sure. Which that's why you got to tag them in their stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Hustle Butter, I got introduced by them by one of the guys I was working at Workings. I don't think that I would have stepped into the place to be able to meet them had he not brought me to Chicago to meet them, Sometimes I feel like about it's who you know, but I don't know. Maybe I should reach out to Eternal then. Or
you
go
should.
to their booth.
You should.
And be
You
like,
should,
hey, guys.
1000%.
And then what you should do is you should find out who the nicest, weakest person is there. Just like you did in the shop. No, not the weakest, but the nicest,
Yes. Yeah.
And then you build a relationship. So what does that mean? It means you said, hi, now I would like to follow up on this relationship.
Right.
What I do is I go, can I have your phone number? Because like other people manage my Instagram. I'll never fucking see it.
Okay.
So I lie to them off the rip. No,
right.
I'm just kidding. No, I get their phone number and I fucking hit them up, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, how's your week going? Hope the family's good. Like, yo, I'm going to this convention. Are you going to be there?
Right.
And then like when I go, like I make sure I find them.
Yeah.
You
sponsored by Bishop now?
Everyone, bro.
I love it. I love it.
And I don't think any of them approached us.
Yeah, you approached them. All right.
Well, it's like, why not? Who
so I need
says
an
that's
apprentice,
against the
and I need to
rules?
approach sponsorships. We're learning today. Definitely building.
Following on, we have another question from Slow4. Any advice to grow your Instagram audience as an apprentice? And I think obviously you kind of touched on it a little earlier, show a lot of yourself, especially if you're in the process of learning. People want to see the growth. People want to be like, fuck, actually, I want to get a tattoo from this guy. Not yet.
Yes.
Not
they want
yet.
to come back in 6 months and see that you're killing it.
But we're getting there.
Yeah.
And then honestly, apprentices have a leg up. Logan, sorry. In the sense where they can do free tattoos and practice on people. And people do want to do that.
Right.
And showing how much progression you have on Instagram, I think, is a great way to get those people in those seats, because those free tattoos, and we see it all the time, become clients, and they're your clientele.
And they're loyal too, man.
Yeah,
someone that came here for a free tattoo is loyal, baby.
And if they like you as a person, it's going to be even sicker. Be like, oh, bro, this is his first tattoo, or this is his thing. So I think that's the best way to market it. And also when it comes to sponsorships, we have Logan, getting people that are known to repost your stuff like After Ink.
Yes.
So if they're like adding all these people, and KINGPIN does it all the time because they told us, and these people are reposting your stuff, boom, now you have more eyes, and now you have a window of opportunity to, when you know you're there and you know you get better and you know they're watching, to approach them. The door's a little slightly open now.
Yeah.
So I would say slow
how do you grow your IG?
Yeah, as an apprentice, show everything. Literally show your progression.
I do the same thing. Show yourself. Go to conventions, but show yourself.
That, right?
Be personal. You know
Take
what I mean?
pictures
Post
of
your
your
life.
boyfriend.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Show them a little belly. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell them about the ex.
Yeah, I think, and making these funny videos. Like, everybody's been loving these little tattoo skits that everyone does. You know what I mean? I think they're funny. Like, the girls just made one the other day that's like, everyone's arguing on it. So it's up to like over 1 million views. And it was funny. You know what I mean? So I think doing the little skits is funny too. It definitely is a way to get your name out there. There's been a couple different apprentices that I've seen that started off just making funny videos. And now they're tattooing. And I'm like, oh my God, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for sure.
Yeah, there's even artists now that isn't necessarily my cup of tea. Say we've had artists in Borrowed Time, and they're like, I don't really like that art, but man, they had people in those seats every day because they market themselves well, and they're marketing to a certain demographic that loves their shit.
Yep.
That might not be your taste of fucking your pie there, but somebody else loves that shit.
Absolutely.
And they were the ones that were soaring. So even if it's a style that you're not, people don't even like, fuck that shit. Someone likes it.
Yep. And they're flying in for it to get it as long as you're marketing yourself well enough.
Yeah, if you market that shit and it's stuff you want, and like, I don't know any other artist that does this kind of shit. Other people think it's bullshit. Even cyber sigillism, as much we rank on it, people eat that shit up.
Yep.
And half these people that come in and do it, we're like, they're not going to get, oh, nope, they got people.
Yep.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
why
like
social media is
good
important.
for the economy, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I talk shit about cyber sigilism, like all these idiot kids get it, and then that turns into more work because they get it covered up, and it just like fuels the tattoo economy. So I'm
The old
about
circle of life.
Yep.
But I think people want to feel like they connect with you.
Yes.
And if you can do that through content and marketing, then you've hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
And it's like, if you can also take that and create something original, like, I think it's great that like everyone's doing skits, and I love to laugh, and I think it's funny.
Yeah.
I think it's a little played out.
Right.
We've been doing it a long time. Everyone's doing, and I mean, the whole industry.
Yes.
And I think it's great, and like keep doing it. But like, I'm curious, like, what else can, people create?
Right.
Like, can you do, like, Cam was doing it for a while, and he should have stuck with it, but he has no work ethic. He's lazy, and he looks like a stop sign. He was doing the apprentice tips.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he'd be like, Cam, here, apprentice tip number 1. You know, and he'd say these like little dumb things, like, don't get your mentor's coffee order wrong.
Right.
And then he would give it to me wrong, and I would hit him.
Yep.
And like,
It's
but
CGI.
it was like, it was still funny, but it was his own approach from an apprentice.
Right.
Or like apprentice tip number 2, like, don't go outside of your comfort zone too much. And I was like, oh, this is, like, I was watching it. I was like, this is cool. And I know that there's like some apprentices on YouTube, like, documenting their, like I want to see like something like new.
Yes.
Like, because if I see something that's already been done, a trend, I'm just going to find who started the trend, and then just watch that person.
Yes.
Be that trendsetter.
Yeah.
But I think, I think as an apprentice, like, like you guys are saying, like, just show everything. Like, just like you're trying to find your own, like, art style, find your own, like, content style.
Right.
And what does that mean? Like, find something that you, like, naturally enjoy.
Yep.
Because after you do it for, like, years, you're gonna have to love it to like keep it going because it's gonna feel like work.
Yes.
You know, it'll be a little easier to produce if you're actually interested in it.
Right.
Like, don't start something just because it does well. You might not actually even be interested in it, and then you just end up hating it.
Right.
I mean,
upload your gaming shit and everything else too. Like, just be you. I feel like that's important. I used to like do Sims houses. I would upload the Sims houses.
That's
I was
cool.
doing like
set a
home
rocket in
renovations.
there.
I uploaded
Yeah.
the like
you took the doors away.
the what?
You took the doors away and lit the house
And
on
killed
fire?
them. It depends. It depends. No, I really didn't
That's
play
a
with
vibe,
them.
right?
I'd
Is
set
that
the
weird?
rocket in the middle of the
I really
house.
didn't play with them. I would build the houses and not play with the Sims. Like, I feel like it was just fun to play, like, just to build
You're just an
houses.
architect.
Yeah, I just wanted to build the houses and get out. I rarely ever played like the
You're just
actual
a developer.
gameplay.
Like,
I just
we need
wanted
to
to-
buy this land, develop, and
Yes.
resell it.
I was a matchmaker on there. I would just wait till they have sex. Be like, my job here is done.
Make 6 babies and dip. I'm dead. They'll kill them now. They really will. If you come back to your
You gotta eat
game
'em.
and you haven't played in like 2 or 3 months, your babies are dead. Like,
What?
they used to like
a
save it or
gigapet.
whatever. Like, no, it's different now in the gameplay. Like,
we are
it's so
tired
real.
of people not playing. with
Yeah,
no
we're gonna kill
consequence.
your
Killing your
babies.
babies.
Like, yeah, no, it's gotten so crazy.
Is there a gray area for you guys when it comes to apprentice Instagrams when they're approaching a shop? Because there are red flags that I look for.
What?
With an apprentice's Instagram?
Yeah, because I understand it's their portfolio, but there's shit that shouldn't be on there. Do you guys have any red flags that you look for when like an apprentice says, "Oh, this is my portfolio," and it's their Instagram? Be like,
See, and I won't accept any, so I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for that because I'm just immediately like, no, like, I'm not even gonna look.
yeah, I think
What
like
are yours, Danny?
honestly where they've been tattooing and what they're showing, and you
Like
know,
if they've been tattooing in their house?
like if they're scratchers.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's the gray area for me because you do want to see what they've done, but then you shouldn't.
Would you be open to this? Let's say a scratcher came in and you knew they were scratching. You're like, we'll take you, but you're a scratcher. And then you made them dressed up like a cat with claws.
I would.
For a month, they had to come to the shop as a scratcher.
I think that's fair. I'll even buy them the pole. They can.
I'm
And
dead.
then welcome people in.
Oh, yeah.
You like the broken ones. I feel like you would love a scratcher. You gotta get
We'll
all them,
take a stray cat.
You need all them bad habits to get fixed up, you know?
Yeah, I used to. I think, like a rescue, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a dodo
Lot,
video.
bro.
You just straight up started in a shop?
What?
You just started in a shop? Like you
No, I was a scratcher.
you were too.
Yeah.
I think everyone was.
And then
I think a lot of people were, to be honest. It's frowned
from our
upon,
time,
but yes.
I don't
yes.
know why people are still doing it. I mean, I guess like
young
YouTube, you actually can, I don't hate to say this, you can learn a lot from YouTube.
Yeah.
But you can't get the experience.
Right.
Right.
You do a lot of things wrong for a long time, and someone will
But
walk
it's
right up and be like, do it this
so
way.
out there, the information. Like,
Yeah.
don't fucking tattoo in your house.
Yeah.
Like, don't do this. Like, if you are doing it, it's not out of necessity. You're just like choosing to defy.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep.
that's like.
Our apprentice at Workings was tattooing on like pig shoulders, like big ass huge pig shoulders. So like he practiced for like 6 months before he ever even hit skin, and I was just like, you lucky bastard, because I never thought about that. I was just went right to skin. So I'm like, and it was very similar. Like we were showing him stuff on it, like tattooing it, and I mean their skin it's similar enough that he got a feel for it before he actually started. But I'm like, I think that's even smarter than fucking up your friends. Go buy some fucking pig shoulder from
There's a
Bravo.
pig out there with some sick ass tattoos.
Yeah, for real. Like, that's what
We
he
just heard
did.
a story about
He did that for like 6 months. I'm like, I feel like
Yo.
it helped him a little bit by the time he got to skin. He didn't fuck up as much stuff.
We had our guest last week. They said that they tattooed a pig leg, and they lived in an apartment and were too lazy to walk downstairs and put it in the garbage, so they just threw it out their window. And in the morning, there was a whole police squad out there because they thought it was a human body.
Oh my God, stop. One time we found an amputated leg and we hid it up in the bushes at Publix, and the cops were all up there, whatever. thinking
human?
It was a real leg.
Logan's
no,
been
we
looking
found
for
it.
that
Yeah, we
a
found like an
long
amputated leg, like in the woods or something. I don't even remember where we found it. And so we took it up to Publix and like put it in the bushes and just waited, and like a bunch of cop cars came and like they were like checking it out. They found out it was
I
prosthetic.
thought you said you put it in Publix.
No,
like,
we
for
put it in
someone
the
to buy.
bushes, like in the bushes at Publix, like just like sticking out, and then we just went like watched.
Dude, you go to the
see.
frozen food section, bro. There's a leg
That
there.
would have been funnier. That would have been funnier. It really would have.
got
But we
some
wouldn't have been able
crazy
to watch it
cuts
unfold
today.
inside the store. Like, we watched it unfold from like across the street, bunch of kids making it very obvious that we
Bro,
had just put this dirty.
We should
leg.
buy a bunch of meat, tattoo them, and repackage them and put them in Publix.
It'd be funny. Yeah, the
Boar's head.
They're all getting clubbed right now, anyways.
We only tattoo quality meat here.
Right.
It's funny you just said boar's head. Oscar just said something that there's a listeria breakout.
There is. That's what they recalled like so much. Yeah, they recalled a lot.
Shit, I just had a sandwich yesterday. Am I okay?
No.
Fritz, look at me. Am I okay? Okay.
Like 9 people died.
Lucky.
I know.
It's a new pandemic.
I guess.
Is it only for a boarhead?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Shit. You guys want lunch?
Hell yeah.
Shit.
I'm not supposed to be eating deli meat anyways, but
What?
You say deli or deadly?
you're not supposed to eat deli meat. Like when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to.
Really? What?
I'm not.
They have a
Supposed to be, like,
preference?
heat it up. Yeah, it's I don't know. My mom said that that's bullshit, so I'm still eating it.
That sounds fake.
Like,
I'm sure my mom ate that shit. Look at me. I'm perfectly whatever.
I told her that. She was like, "What? I've never heard of that." I'm like, "Well, you know, you haven't had a baby in like 30 years, but who knows?" Like,
Are you only born? Only child?
no,
Only born?
no. I had a couple.
That's a
sisters.
sick ass way to go.
Right?
I am an only born.
Do you have siblings?
Yeah.
You're an only child? Okay, yeah, no, siblings are a good
I have a
thing.
sibling.
Me too.
Luckily, James already has a daughter because I don't want to have another kid, but I don't want my baby to be lonely.
What do you think your most toxic tattooer trait is?
That I send drawings the night before.
You take 30-minute breaks.
Or that I shave time off when I shouldn't. I don't know.
Do you
I
think
feel
you
like
would change that? Would you be open to changing that?
no, because I like it and I prefer it. Because
Oh, okay,
I'd rather
yeah,
do
you
the
like
drawing
it.
at home. I'm relaxing. I'm watching Game of Thrones. Before I got pregnant, I'd be smoking. Like I would just rather do it at home. Like after, you know what I mean? It's like my homework. So I don't think that I would change that. And I like sending them the drawings because go ahead and show it to your man, your best friend, and whoever. I'm passing all the checks. Like I don't know, but I can't think of anything that I do that I think is toxic. I feel like I'm really nice and overly accommodating to everybody. So I don't know. I don't feel like I'd have a good answer for that. I feel like I'm really nice.
Do you have any guilty pleasures in your iPod playlist?
In my iPad playlist? Yeah. What do you mean? Like songs? What are you
know.
talking about?
You know exactly what I mean.
Next question.
Like you listening to, Creed
What kind
or
of music
Nickelback.
do you guys listen to at the shop?
Yeah. You guys fight over it?
No, okay, so I feel like a lot of times, so we have a hairstylist in the shop too, right? Krista. She does like
Works there?
yes,
Nice.
yeah, and she does like beautiful extensions, whatever. So if Krista is doing someone's hair that's old, we're gonna put on like
What's old?
like
Careful now.
40s, 50s, 60s, like older than us.
And today.
Because we're all like 30 and below for the most part. So
Yeah.
if she's tattooing or doing the hair of someone that's a little bit older, we'll put on like
Cisco?
I don't know, like hits of the 80s or like Flume or like things that are just like more relaxing that aren't like, whatever. I think if it's like just the girls there, we'll be bumping anything. We can get ghetto, we can get ratchet, we can get screamo. Like Mars is always trying to put on Bad Bunny. Like it really just depends on what the vibe is and who's there.
I'd walk out of an artist. I mean, a shop if Bad Bunny was playing.
Yeah, I
That's
feel like
just
we
my
should
own
do the
personal-
battle of
I didn't
the music. 'cause
match
we're
with
all
a girl
different.
on Bumble that had Bad Bunny on there, and now
Yeah.
I've denied a lot of women.
I can't
Any
understand
Bad
it either
Bunny,
way, So
dog.
whatever Bad Bunny is on, it's just playing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like to listen to Forensic Files while I'm tattooing.
Ooh,
Really?
I wish the entire shop would be cool with that. Listening to fucking crime podcasts.
I have like a headphone in, and I'm also talk the whole time, but I'm listening to Forensic Files. I just think,
Wow.
Oh, they got her. What?
The monotone voice is like I don't know. It keeps me focused.
It's
It's weird.
sensual in a way.
Yeah. I just binged Game of Thrones again though. Like
Good
in the
for
last
you.
like 2-3 weeks, I binged
Congrats.
it all over again, and I was like listening to it all day during my appointments.
I only saw season 1, and I know I'm gonna get crucified.
Are you lying?
I am not. I'm looking you in the eye.
You couldn't get into it.
I mean, once the brother fucked the sister, I'm like, hey, I can do this. But then,
First 5 minutes.
yeah, I'm like, all right, this
You're
is
like,
sick.
you're like pause. go to the bathroom.
First 5 minutes, like-
I don't know.
I never click play.
It's still playing. I'm pausing my house. It takes a lot for me to get into a period piece.
yeah.
Yeah, and I know. I think so much has happened that I don't want to get into it now.
No, it's incredible. It's like the best writing ever. It's
I
really
know,
so good.
I know. I mean, I saw the Red Wedding. That was cool.
That's like in the 4th season.
I just saw that.
So you just skipped around?
Yeah. I did see the last season because a girl I was dating at the time, she was watching it, so I watched it live. She goes, this doesn't apply to anything in the whole fucking show. This is terrible.
No, the Red Wedding was watching that for the first time was absolutely horrendous. My face.
Did you cry?
My face. I was in complete disbelief. It was
We'll
crazy.
find another.
But I mean, just watching it again for the 5th time over, I'm still noticing shit that I didn't notice. And now I just watched House of Dragon, which I thought was so much more boring than Game of Thrones. But like, it's really boring. There's not as much action. Game of Thrones are killing people every 5 seconds. But
Just hear
there's
everyone
things
talk
now
about
that they're saying in Game of Thrones that I'm able to like relate to the House of Dragon too. So I'm like, I love it. You should.
Are you worried that someone's going to come from behind and stab you in the stomach?
No,
Okay.
no. But
That's what I remember from that scene. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Great question, Danny.
Yeah, right. No, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. There's so much blood in Game of Thrones. That's why it's crazy that they're really not doing that in House of Dragon. There's not much killing in House of Dragon. There's really
Well,
not.
they got him pretty
It's more
good,
politics.
like-
A dragon fight, I hear, was coming. what
Yeah, in
everybody
2
in the show
years.
was.
Like the season's over now. We don't get another one for 2 years. Assholes.
This is why I just watch How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
It's a lot cooler. Gets right to the killing.
Dev and I just saw the Deadpool Wolverine last night.
Did you have
for
fun?
The first time. What?
Did you have fun?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
mean,
shit
I
your
liked
pants
it.
because you didn't want to go to the bathroom?
No, it was fine.
I would have waited. Your boy would have waited. I watched it the second time and I knew when I could pee.
Yeah.
But I wasn't Sundays. I just try to not leave the house.
Yeah.
And just be a complete degenerate.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. In my version of pajamas, which is shorts and a shirt.
Yep.
All day, and so we're going out, and she's like, "Oh, I want to stop at Trader Joe's to get snacks for the movies."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, whatever, dude." So we pull up to this Trader Joe's. And I'm like, I'm going to stay in the car. I don't want to deal with people.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's raining. I'm in flip-flops with socks. I'm like, great.
You're going in.
Yeah. So I'm in there,
She's like, I'm going to give you a list.
Right. And she's a sweetheart, but she has she never reads the room or understands that people are around her. So she's bumping into everyone and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But she's nice. So she gets away with it.
Right.
She's asking people that don't work there questions about the snacks and if they've tried it. So it's just for me, it's a nightmare.
Do you think this is smuggable into a movie theater?
Right.
Pretty much. Have you tried these? Do the mocha pretzels taste like the other pretzels? Whatever.
Okay.
So I just walk away because I'm I'm not dealing with this. She's like, do you guys have cold drinks here? And it's clear that all the refrigeration, nothing's in there. And they're trying to fix it, and it's very obvious they have some problem going on.
That's a good question.
She's like, do you have any cold drinks in here? And they're like, we have been dealing with refrigeration problems all day. And she's like, so no.
Do you guys have some in the back?
Bro, finally, we make it to the checkout line, and I'm like, oh, thank God, this is fucking over. And we're in the checkout line, and dude's checking us out, and I'm telling her, I'm like, can we just not talk to anyone else, and we could just leave and go watch a movie? And she's like, yeah. We're in the line. The guy's being very quiet. He's looking down. No sign of hey, I'd love to have a conversation with you. And I can see her getting ready, and she's like, we're going to the movies. he looks up from the job that is 3 days away from giving him the contents to take his life forever. And he's like, oh, what movie? She's like, we're going to see this, the Deadpool versus Wolverine.
I'm glad you asked.
Telling him everything, bro.
We just got these snacks that this lady Carol suggested.
She's like, we're going to try to sneak him in. I brought this blanket to hide all the snacks. And I'm like, yeah.
Now my socks are wet because there was a puddle in the parking lot.
Bro.
Dude, I was at
my
Publix. I was on vacation this weekend, but we were getting a lot of food from Publix, and the bag girl, who was on the spectrum, so sweet, but we ended up talking to her for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, she literally started off with, I'm going on a first date tomorrow. We're actually going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine.
The woman bagging?
Yeah. She's like, what should I wear? Your dress is really pretty. Should I get that? Should I get it? She's like, yeah, I got it on Amazon. She goes, how long did it take to get here? She's like, next day. She goes, I don't know if I have that long. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a long one. And we talked to her for 10 minutes.
She wanted your girlfriend to take her dress off.
Did you
and
have
ask
to
her.
step to the side so other customers could pass you?
Kinda.
That's ridiculous.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And I could
you
tell
had to pull over on the side of the road.
Yeah, because she kept asking all these questions, and who am I to decline, my knowledge of dresses?
Oh my God.
It was the sweetest thing, but man, I was just like, ooh.
Don, do you get recognized everywhere around here? And are you from here, this area?
I mean, I live here.
Are you from here?
I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been here over a decade.
So do you get recognized like around here locally?
It used to happen a lot.
Yeah.
I think that I've gone through that whole cycle.
Yeah.
And I've met everyone.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Let's calm down.
Not at Publix.
Yeah, right.
But I honestly, I think most people, I don't know if it's our like what we give off or whatever, but I think they're like kind of like nervous.
I
Or,
saw
like,
you at a show. Did you do Philly
scared.
this year?
No.
Was it this year? I know that because I saw
To
you
Chicago-
somewhere.
Golden State.
You did Golden State?
Yeah.
Last year? Because it's
Yeah.
going on this weekend. I saw you at Golden State then because I
Yeah,
was there
yeah,
also with
yeah.
Hustle Butter. And I was just like, oh my God, there's that guy. I'm not saying hi. Like, you know, I could have been like, Sean knows you and like talks about you, whatever. I was just like, nope, not doing it. I'll be like a weirdo.
Did you meet Sean in Orlando?
I did. Yeah. We were working together at Workings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, like I just had so much fun being Sean's devil's advocate and just
I
fucking
love
with
Sean.
him. Like interrupting him halfway through his, like him fucking with his client to be like, no, fuck that, Sean. Like what you're saying is stupid and just argue with him. It
I
was so much
support
fun.
that.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
just a blast. I loved it.
I was telling her we've learned to have Sean on when there isn't a new guest because they'll never get a word.
I'm telling you, what was it? When I wrote him last night and I was like, you didn't fucking tell me that it was going to be live. And he was like, oh, well, mine's not live. And I said, I wouldn't put you on live either, but you didn't tell me this was going to be
this is not
live.
live.
Like, yeah, no, Sean's got to be chopped and screwed, baby. Because
He's live in the shop,
crazy.
and that's enough.
Yes, he's crazy. I loved it though. He's insane in the good way. Like the shit that he talks about used to have me rolling, I swear to God. And so it just got to the point where he'd say some shit and I'd challenge him just to challenge him. And so now he's arguing with the client and arguing with me, like just for fun. And then we'd leave at the end of the day and I'd be like, bye Sean, love you, see you tomorrow.
There's a few that like get that reputation, which I love those people, like Sean.
Yeah.
Love Sean. But like I'll talk to like different shop owners or like people and they'll be like, oh, like, you know, like Christian's one of them.
Yeah.
Like they guest spot and they're just kind of highly inappropriate.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, love him. And it's like, did he
Guess what?
say this at the shop? Yeah, we had to put him in the bag. We had to put him in the private.
Yep.
Right.
I'd have girls in there getting tattooed and Sean's just over there just talking cash shit. And I'd be like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Don't take him to offense. Like,
Yeah.
We'll turn off the music. If
yeah, he's
he's
funny
there
as
so we
fuck
can
though.
hear it.
He's from Jersey too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe he is.
That's
Because
why
he
I
had
love
asked me
him.
a couple times. He's like, I just don't feel like you're from Florida. I'm like, nah, baby, I'm from Florida. But that's because we used to go like head to head with it. He's like, I feel like you
Yeah.
could be from Jersey. I'm like, nah, Florida's just as ghetto.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah,
if you're
Florida's
not,
just as
and
ghetto.
a Jersey person is like, yo, I feel like you could be from Jersey.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Hey, you're
It's-
trash. You should
It's
be.
almost
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can keep up with it.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
it's kind of like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
But it really is an honor.
Yeah.
You know? It'd be like, yeah, like you're skinny for someone that's fat.
Yep.
It's kind of like that.
Yep.
It's like, yo, you could.
I don't know how
yo,
I feel
like
about
you
that.
I like you so much you could be from Jersey.
Yep.
It's like because you're like garbage enough.
Yep.
But for some reason I'm saying I love that about you.
Yeah, when he wrote me and said
Thanks,
that he had
I
shouted
think.
me out to you guys, I was like, I fucking love you, Sean. Like, about all the friends
did.
you have and all the cool people that you know, truly.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of fucking cool people. I was
Yeah.
like, I thought that was really cool of him
And
to
that
put me up
says
like
something.
Well, all of them
Like-
said
Yeah.
no, so we got to you.
that. Yeah, right? I was the last choice. It's okay. I'm used to it.
You've been awesome.
Seemed
John,
like
you were
a
going to
safe
say
choice
something.
to put on
Did
live.
I
That's
cut you
so
off?
funny.
What's that?
Did I cut you off?
I forget what I was gonna say, but one thing that I am like curious about is you told me that there was like a story involving poop.
No. It's a shitty one.
All right, so I'm back and forth between the two studios, right? And I was at Anatomy, and I get a text message from Subcultures, and they're like, Brissa, someone shit on the floor. And I read this text message while I'm tattooing, like, out loud. And
And
I'm
you're like, again?
right? I'm like, there's no fucking way.
I'm not there.
Like, there's literally no way. So I wrote back, and I was like, picture, or it didn't happen. There's no shit.
Yeah.
Immediately, I get a picture of this fucking poop, and
Like every angle of it?
like just straight on poop in the corner. I'll show it to you guys if you want to show it to them. And I'm like, it's
Landscape.
a solid ass poop, and I'm like, who the fuck brought their dog into the studio? Like this, literally to me immediately, I was like Rottweiler shit. Like that, it's just what it looked like to me.
Right.
So we have cameras that like walk down the hallway or whatever, like
Sure.
like right when you close the bathroom door or whatever.
You're like, we have
So-
cameras in the bathroom.
Yeah, right. So they're talking about like Lucy, one of the girlfriends of one of the artists, like picked
No, it
it
wasn't
up.
him, wasn't him.
Yeah, I was like, you've got me fucked up. I was not picking that up. So they sent me the picture of the fucking poop. I'm freaking out, whatever. Well, come to find out, which here, I'll show you the poop, John.
Yeah, let me see that shit.
Oh my God. Okay, so we've got huge poop. We're gonna show all the peoples how big this poop
Damn.
is.
Yeah, I'll send this to Danny so he can post it.
Yeah, it's
Could
a
be my
big
wallpaper.
I
poop.
like that, like, you have size reference in there, like with the trash can.
Somebody
and
put a
the
quarter
toilet.
next to it.
Because, like, I know what a standard toilet looks like. Oh, and it's a live picture.
Is it? Did it just
Is
move?
it? Yeah, it goes in and out.
Oh my God.
I'm
so-
surprised.
You can see the culprit walking out.
I'm surprised they didn't put the polarizing lens on.
Yeah, those action
Well, like,
angles.
I immediately shared it like while we're trying to figure out who did this shit because we need to like look at the cameras. I immediately posted it. Was like, which one of you motherfuckers just came into subcultures and shit on the floor? Like I have this. This is a new experience. So come to find out, some lady who wasn't even getting tattooed like came in, like opened the door, and was like, hey, can my kid use the bathroom? Let her 4-year-old son go down this hallway by himself to go poop, and he pooped on the floor.
Like, are you sure it wasn't her?
Yeah.
She didn't come in with him. She went down there all by himself.
Maybe he went to go dispose of the evidence.
I think
She
it was probably
pooped in
already in his
another
pants and he
location.
just went there and shook it out. Because I'm like, at some point,
Through the shorts.
he had to have been gone for a minute, and she did not question him being alone in this tattoo shop. Like, I can't believe she didn't go to the bathroom with him. So
He's
but I'm
4,
like,
he's an adult
I just
now.
imagine this little baby like bracing himself up against the wall, shitting on the floor because it's so close to the baseboards. Like,
Do you think he looked at it? He was like, "Uh-oh,
Listen,
I'm gonna leave it."
Mommy, I have to go potty. Like, oh my God. So, like I said, Lucy picked it up because, I mean, had I been there, I would have lived. There's
She's
no
like,
way. Yeah, right.
It's human.
Lucy picked the shit up, and it's been a thing ever since. Like, we'll just make jokes about it now because I'm like, I've never heard of that before. I'm sure no one's ever shit on your floor. Like, that's why. kids
At least
aren't
it
allowed
was
tattoo
solid.
shops.
Can we give the
Thank
kid credit?
God.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
that was a good move.
Yeah, it wasn't like spray shit.
Yeah, and I mean,
I've seen that in the shop.
I don't think his mom would have known that he went in there and shit. Oh, I mean, I hope not. But
Bro,
like,
you
don't
should
leave
put
your
a
kids
you should
unattended.
put a little flyer out. Say you want to find this kid.
Right, phantom shitter.
Yeah,
Like,
people are
about
gonna think it's a
3
missing
months ago.
sign. So yeah,
Do like the.
Can you recognize this
the
shit?
Poop
Yes.
black with a question mark.
Yep.
That's gonna be the thumbnail of this fucking
I was completely in
conversation.
disbelief that it was a fucking young child. I was like, you're actually kidding me.
were you more relieved that it was a child and not a grown man?
I guess, like, yeah, because I feel like then I have to call him back to fight. Like, someone's coming back to fight, not me, but one of the boys. But like, you gotta come back up here and fight for that. Like, what?
I like how he had a singular turd.
What the fuck is that?
The toilet was
My
right
stomach.
there. The toilet was right there.
I know, but he probably hasn't developed his aim yet.
I was telling this to one of my girlfriends, and she said that she was at a birthday party to where like a 6-year-old kid came out in the middle of the birthday party, like on the back porch, pulled down his pants and shit in the middle of the birthday party. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna mean that I'm gonna
put
be a
his
good
nose
parent
in
or
it.
not.
You go,
I would
"No."
have whooped his ass if he did that in front of everybody. I
Yeah.
really would have. I would have whooped his ass. I'm like, 6 years old. No, you're getting a spanking, and I don't even really want to spank my kids.
I would have shit on him
I'm like,
straight up.
first of all, you picking it up, and now you getting an ass beaten. Like, I just don't like what. I feel like
Do it
4 is a little
simultaneously.
old
Beat
to
his
shit
ass
on the
while he's
floor.
clean.
I can't.
You should just make him pick it up and hold it with both hands and squish it.
It's a butterfly.
Oh my.
Oh, if people are looking to find your shops,
Yeah.
how do they find you?
Okay, so you can find both of them in the bios of my page on Sweet Bee Tattoos. I don't have any websites for us up yet.
Not to be confused with Kat Von B.
No.
Right. Sweet
Kat Von B had to be put down.
Sweet Bee Tattoos.
Yep, just
Yep.
B, no
Right.
B-E-E-E. But yeah, both of them. I've got Anatomy, which is the all girls in Altamont, and then I've got Subcultures, which is over in Orange City. That's co-ed, so it's got both. But we also have a phenomenal piercer at Subcultures as well. So if anyone needs any jewelry or high-end stuff, Alex has really got a great selection of stuff. So it's really nice.
And people that are watching, what should they keep an eye out from, or things to know about you coming in the future?
I'm having a baby. So
books
we've-
are closed.
Yeah, right. We've watched me renovate my house. We've watched me open up 2 studios. Now we're about to watch me take mom. I'm taking a little bit of a break, but I think just coming up in the future, like, I don't know, same things, running the studios, maybe moving to a new place. I kind of want to open up one more beachside eventually.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
like 5-year plan is to open one up in New Smyrna if I could. So yeah, I would say right now in this moment, mommy things are coming up, but we'll
Very
find our
cool.
way again and it'll be back to the tattoo stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
What a
Thank you
fun
for having
fucking
me.
conversation.
Thank you guys.
For real, though. And definitely check out the shops. Keep an eye out. Congratulations on the mommy experience you're about to have.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week.
Alrighty.